Services, and RCI Mechanical. Now we go live to the call of today's game with Kyle Kerstedt.
Welcome into Firestone Stadium in Akron, Ohio, as we get set to bring you the Division II state finals between Riverside Beavers and the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets, as we've been in a little bit of a rain delay. The game was supposed to start originally around 1:30, so we appreciate you sticking around with us, but we are getting close now to start as the field has been cleared off. The umpires have met with both head coaches at home plate, exchanged roster cards, and they are going to get set and ready to go as they start to announce these teams. So bear with us on the background noise. Joining me up here in the booth, as always, Gary Cooper, and we will be bringing you this game between the Yellow Jackets and Paynesville. And one of the interesting things to look at in this situation, Paynesville is up in Lake County. Riverside's the name of the school. This is their first appearance in the state semifinals or finals, and it's actually their first appearance this deep into the playoffs in school history. The other thing to note is no school out of Lake County has ever won a state championship in girls softball. Now flip the side, get down into Knox County. There's a little bit more of a known commodity of softball in that area, and the last championship and only championship to come out of Knox County, come on Gary, keep up. Knox County was Danville back in 2008. So as far as the history goes of these two counties and the schools they've produced for softball, this is rare air to have these two teams in the state finals. One of the beauties of this job, though, is you get to go home knowing today, no matter what, you're still one of the best two teams ever to do it this year in Ohio. So Paynesville will be coming in with a record of 4. They've had a pretty strong go of it all season long. No real struggles throughout their season as they have battled across the upper northeast of Ohio and even found their way over into Pennsylvania for a couple of their games this season to come up with a record of 25-4. They're coached by Bill Ross. He's from Cleveland State University. This is his 17th season. All have been spent at Riverside with a record of 261 and 141. Now for Mount Vernon, you will hear the familiar name of Coach Pence. Obviously his fifth season, 109-33 record over those years. His first appearance in a state final for the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets, as we discussed. And lineup-wise, I suspect you're going to see pretty much the same thing. One of the differences between softball and baseball is the amount of pitching that does not get used in the game of softball. You usually have one, maybe two dominant pitchers, and from there you don't see a whole lot else. Scarberry will be towing the rubber today for the Yellow Jackets, and on the other side will be Davis, a young junior that will be towing the rubber. Pitched in the game yesterday, got the 4-0 victory, and also got a nice shiner right across her top of her left eye. So as she comes out onto the field today, we'll see how much that plays into effect. The other thing, Gary, I've been noticing as I've watched the warm-ups is two things come into effect here. This turf field obviously holds and dissipates water in a completely different manner than dirt and grass. So you're going to get a splash when the ball hits. So as a fielder or defender, you got to be ready for the initial contact. When that ball hits in front of you, you're going to get some water in your face, which naturally you want to blink, you want to turn, so that could cause problems in the field. The other thing you're noticing is the ball isn't flying true off these players' hands on their throws. I was watching the warm-up throws for Riverside over in the outfield, watching some of the catcher drills here. You're seeing it sail, you're seeing it fly high, which means they're getting a loose grip on it from the water. So we'll have to see how that all plays out as well tonight, as those are going to be two key things that kind of battle you out, on top of all just the absolute emotion that you have sitting. And one of the worst things that you could have to do is think you have a game at 1:30, get geared up for that 1:30, and then sit around and wait. So we'll see what they come up with as they are coming out fired up, ready to go. The fans are traveling well from both sides. Obviously, Mount Vernon always travels well to support their community, but Riverside's brought them down. So we are packed house tonight. It is going to be a loud environment, as it is a wide open field setup in here. It's actually beautiful brickwork as you really look at kind of the old typical 1925 architecture. The overhang has the pillars coming down, so there are seats in the stadium that have terrible views. Unfortunately, for those that have to sit behind them, but luckily for us, our view perched up top here is absolutely gorgeous. We're just on the other side of the press box from where the magic happens, and we are getting ready now as they're introducing the lineups for the home team, which is going to be Riverside, again out of Paynesville up in Lake County. They have traveled well and are ready to establish themselves as possibly a new contender and a possible power out of Lake County. I'd like to thank our sponsors for bringing you all the action today. Extreme Air LLC, Griffin Insurance, Knox County Veteran Services, Gearing Custom Renovations, Buckeye Stoves, Mount Vernon Arts with 9 to 5 the musical, Cubbage Electric and Construction, A+ Auto Brokers, and Foster Health Mart Pharmacy. I told you, Gary, the tongue is not being nice to me today, and right there we just saw it. So as we get set here for the lineups to be announced for the starting of the Division II state championship game between Riverside and Mount Vernon, it'll be interesting to see how the weather affects. Yesterday was sunny, beautiful, about 70 degrees all day long, and nice little breeze on it. Today a little bit heavier with the rain. The ball probably will not travel as well as it would have yesterday. But yesterday we also noticed you don't see a lot of long balls being played out here. This stage of the game, the quality of competition, the talent level, you're not going to see that. You're going to find your success on other teams' minimal mistakes, taking advantage, finding those grooves to get things done. As we said yesterday, Mount Vernon won 5-4, and they found it in the last inning. A couple clutch hits at the exact moment they needed them to get base runners where they needed them to get that lead and take home the victory. Riverside, a 4-0 victory, and really was kind of a game that was neck and neck until the end. The final 2 innings is when Riverside was able to put up two sets of crooked numbers and kind of seal their fate to get in here today. The other thing that'll be interesting as we were talking, you have the, like I said, the starting pitcher Davis for Riverside took a nice shot off the forehead yesterday above her left eye. But Davis herself is the only senior pitcher they have. So once you get past her, you get into the younger kids. Will this moment be too big for them? Will they be able to handle that? Will be key. But right now we're going to take a moment as they play the national anthem.
We invite you to please rise if you can. Remove your hats and join us for the playing of our national anthem.
We have a packed house, full and ready to go as they have been patiently waiting. We had a nice little dance-off go on before between 2 mascots, and Mount Vernon's Yellow Jacket did them proud as they took home the championship on the dance-off. So hopefully that will parlay into a victory on the softball field, Mr. Cooper.
It is worth noting that during the rain delay, the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets mascot absolutely killed the Beavers in the dance-off. It was not close.
I wasn't going to be that brutal in my assessment of it, but I will agree with what you're saying. I cannot find any wrong in your words as the Yellow Jacket pulled off a nice flip there towards the end to kind of seal the deal. The Beaver, I believe, went to the dancing school I went to, which is just, a little rocking back and forth every now and then kind of situation. So anyways, I digress as they are getting ready here. Just talk a couple last things over here between the head coaches and the officials at home plate, making sure everybody understands and is on the same page of what it's going to look like if there's a weather delay, what we're going to do in these situations, what constitutes these situations to be called, and that will determine then how they are going to handle it. But it also allows the coaches to know, okay, this is what's going on, so when it does happen, you can relay it to your team, say, hey, this is what we got to do now, and then get back into it later on. So that'll be the stance that they take as they meet down there on the third base side of the infield. As I said, Davis will be doing the catching for the the pitching for the Riverside Beavers as they come in wearing their black uniforms, tops and bottoms, with the yellow numerals and letters highlighted in white. For those at home in the Mount Vernon area, very similar to what you would see a Watkin Memorial looking uniform represent. And Mount Vernon obviously also wearing their all black uniform, tops and bottoms, white numerals and letters with the orange highlight. So Davis will be the first baseman for the Beavers over at, Pete, can you keep up with me, Gary? Davis is pitching. I don't know how many times I need to keep telling you this. Davis will be pitching for the Beavers behind the plate, and doing the catching for them is going to be Amelia Jarvis. Over at first base is going to be Emma Wilhelm. Second base is going to be Samantha Granchi. Over at shortstop will be Madison Powell. Over at third base will be Olivia Powell. And then in the outfield, left field will be played by Nika Dulce. Center field will be manned by Rebecca Cornell. And in right field will be Brooklyn Kleps. Now they do employ the designated player here, so you will have a hitter that is not playing in the field. Slightly different than what you have in baseball with the DH that only goes for the pitcher. In softball, your designated player can go for any fielder, pitcher, outfielder, first, second, third, short, catcher, whatever it may be. So that will be the case as Kleps is playing in the outfield, but will not do batting. Keverin will be the hitter for them. Now leading off for Mount Vernon will be Myers, as she steps into her familiar place in the leadoff spot. Wearing her number 3. Comes set, second base, third base, playing about 30 feet away, expecting small ball here. As the pitch is thrown and catches the outside part of the plate, strike number 1 right at the knees. Again, Davis is Myers is what you would call a speed slap kind of hitter. Movement throughout the box as she is trying to just put it in play, let her speed help her in doing damage. So here's the 0-1 delivery. Davis, as Myers swings and fouls it off, being the whole 0-2. Defense for Riverside, third base, second base, both parallel to the pitcher. Shortstop plays back, first base playing right about even with the line, center field, right field, left field, all playing short. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Davis, outside and high for ball 1. Right now with Davis, Myers, what she's looking to do is find a hole, a gap that she can drop the ball into, or slam it as hard as she can into the ground, something she can get on top of to allow that bounce to let her speed come into place. The 1-2 delivery from Davis is going to be smacked to short, bobble there, out of the hands. She lost it, and Myers will be first. And as I talk, Gary, the water's going to come into play.
Yeah, we're immediately seeing the wetness of this field come into effect as she goes for the throw, and it just slipped. Wasn't even able to complete the release there, straight to the ground, unfortunately.
So that'll be an error on the shortstop. E6 as you go with it. And that'll allow a runner at first with no outs. And stepping up to the plate will be Carly Kennedy. As now they pinch in on the corners, first and third. Second and short playing back deep. Second creeping over towards first base. Outfield a little bit deeper as well. Davis comes set, delivers. Kennedy drops down, a beautiful bunt. Davis takes it to first to get the out. But the sacrifice played well, and she gets the runner over to second with 1 out. So the small ball going just as the coaching staff was hoping. As the umpire is going to call timeout, swap out the softballs, just to ensure that the moisture level is low. And that'll bring up Rudrick to bat. So Myers is at second. We've got 1 out. Rudrick up to bat. 0-0 is our score in the top of the first. We just got it started here with the Division II State Playoff Finals. Davis' delivery is swung on and missed. Ball popped out of the catcher's hand, but Myers did not advance and retreats back to second base. So already we're seeing the defensive fielding aspect of this game become a problem. And Riverside's going to try to see if they can't close that door, though, and make sure it doesn't cost them a run. So Davis comes set on the 0-1 pitch, is delivered and offered at? No, was not. They said she pulled the bat back in time and make the count 1-1. Smile on the young lady's face may make her wonder or realize she might have got away with that one. They're going to appeal now down to first base. Oh, and he's going to say that no, she did not go as well. Now we're going to have a time called by Riverside. And I knew he was going to have a conversation about this because it is it's a hard judgment call being behind the plate on whether or not you're allowing it. The bat must cross a certain area in order for it to be considered a swing. She was still kind of running towards first. It was not a set position on the bunt. She was kind of in movement in the box. It's hard. It's a judgment call, and that I think is what the home plate umpire just told the head coach for Riverside. You can't argue this. It's just it's judgment call. So now we get set. 1-1 is the count as Davis comes ready, and she delivers to Rudrick as the ball is high. Ball 2. And make it 2-1 now with no out or 1 out here in the top of the first. 0-0 is our score. As Davis finally comes set. Rocks and delivers, and that's fouled straight back off the screen. Now, the one thing also, Davis is a little bit different than what they saw yesterday. One, she does not have all the extra motion before her delivery. She is very calm and stationary in the middle of that circle. The other thing is she is a lefty, so it provides a little bit different view. Now, other than Meyer, most of the batting order for Mount Vernon is a right-handed batting order, so it kind of plays into their favor as Davis comes to deliver and again fouled off, keeping her alive at 2-2. Davis isn't an overpowering pitcher, I would say, so far from what we've seen, but she looks to be very accurate with where she wants to go with the ball and allow it to spin. And unlike baseball, where they do talk a little bit about the spin count, in softball with that short distance and the size of the ball, the spin ratio on that thing is a lot more effective. And you can get that thing to rise, drop, and out on you a lot easier than you can with a baseball. So the 2-2 delivery is smacked down the left field line, foul right over the head of Coach Pence in the third base dugout as he gives a nice little smile and nod to his hitter saying, "Be gentle to me." I've been there a time or two. I think I've had a shin or two explode from a softball hitting it as well. It's not a place you can fall asleep. So 2-2 is our count, 1 out still as Myers sits at second base. The home plate umpire was replenishing the softballs. As they will want to keep them as dry as they possibly can this afternoon. So I'm going to bow back in the box to she step. As Davis comes set, rocks and delivers, and swung on and missed. As she chased it up and out of the zone for strike 1. Strikeout number 2. Or out number 2, strikeout number 1. We're getting there.
You're a little rusty. We had a rain delay. We were talking that might affect the players. It does affect the commentators too.
100%. Thanks. I appreciate that support. So Brooklyn Davenbarger will step up to the plate now with 2 outs. number 4 hitter for the Yellow Jackets. Davis comes set in the circle as she rocks back and delivers, and it's going to be strike 1 on the outside part of the plate, right around the letters. You notice Davis today is a little bit further up in that box, so even they are recognizing the speed of this pitch is different than what they were seeing yesterday, adjusting their positioning in that box to kind of compensate for the slower speeds. So now Davis comes set with the 0-1 pitch. And there's a shot over second base into the outfield. Myers comes around third to score. And the Yellow Jackets take the lead, 1-0. And a great job there by Brooklyn as she just kind of sat back, made sure that she waited on it, and then just poked it right over top the outstretched arms of the second baseman. So Mount Vernon strikes here at the top of the first inning and gets up on the board 1-0. Looks like the official score is going to actually give Meyer credit for a hit on that first one. It will not be an E6. Going to get an infield single. So 2 hits are credited up there as Scarberry steps up into the box and promptly offers at the first pitch. That was just a little bit off on the timing on the outside part of that plate for strike number 1. Scarberry gets back in the box now. 0-1 count with 2 outs, runner on first. As the pitch is delivered and fouled straight back off the screen. So quickly in the hole she goes, 0-2. She steps out of the box, looks down to the third base line. Talk with her coach over a couple things of what he's seeing from her. And now they come set. As Davis steps on the pitching plate, checks the signal, rocks, and delivers. And that ball is outside, trying to get her to chase. And makes count 1-2. As Jocelyn, I'm sure, would be more than happy to find some way to help her cause here today and maybe squeak in an extra run. So Davis comes set on the 1-2 delivery, and that also is on the outside part for ball number 2. So definitely have a plan trying to get her chase the outside. Good job there by Scarberry on those last 2, letting them go. That last one was a little close as it danced down the left-hand batter's box inside line, but not hitting the plate. So Davis rocks on the 2-2 delivery here, and that is going to be up and in as Brooklyn is off from first and out as she is caught stealing to end the inning. So our score here at the end of the middle of the first, Mount Vernon 1, Riverside 0.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901. Where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
Well, hey, y'all. Wake up, pour yourself a cup of ambition, and come on down to the Woodward Opera House to see 9 to 5, the musical. Presented by MTV Arts, this Laugh Out Loud show features music and lyrics by the one and only Dolly Parton. Join Violet, Judy, and Dora Lee as they take on the boss and turn the office upside down in this feel-good, high-energy performance. Don't miss 9 to 5, the musical, this July 5th through 13th. Get your tickets at mtvarts.com.
Working 9 to 5.
Welcome back in as we get started here with the bottom half of the first inning. Mount Vernon striking first, going up 1-0 on a RBI single by Brooklyn Dovenbarger. So now they will get back out on the field for defense as Scarberry will be pitching for the Yellow Jackets again. And it is going to be one of those innings now here for the Yellow Jackets. You need to make sure you don't give them any kind of hope. Don't allow them to find base runners. Don't allow them to get any kind of energy back on their side. Right now, you get these from these rain delays, this overly delayed piece of it. And you will find that sometimes that energy level is hard to get back up. So if you can keep a team down, it can often turn into your favor quickly. So we'll see how it plays out here, though, as I'm sure Riverside has plans of their own. So stepping up to play, leading off for the Beavers is Samantha Granchi, the second baseman for Riverside. Left-handed hitter. As she comes set and gets ready in the box. Scarberry checks for the signal from the dugout as she comes set on the plate, and we are ready to roll. She rocks and she delivers on a swing and a miss on strike one. So step back in the box now. Scarberry with the 0-1 delivery. And that's going to be slapped right over top of the shortstop's head, and it's going to scoot in between left field and center field. Myers is going to get back to the fence and haul it in, but not before a leadoff double to start their half of the first inning.
I think what we're going to really have to watch here is not how each team hits, but how each team is able to field on these rough conditions out here.
100%, my friend. It's going to be a big factor. We talked about it earlier, and you're going to continue to see it with that wet field. The ball doesn't bounce as high. It stays lower. It skips faster. It's just going to play different on the angles. It's going to play different on the bounces. And you're just going to have to learn to make those quick adjustments to it as fast as you can. So Tornell steps into the box now with no outs and a runner on second base. As Scarberry gets the signal and steps on the plate. She will rock back and deliver, and it's going to be swung on and fouled off for strike number one. I think what's going to be key for Scarberry, she's just got to keep that ball in the zone. You got to force them to swing. You got to force them to try to hit. They're obviously showing they're going to be aggressive, come out swinging. And the last thing you want to do is try to dance around that zone, get a little too fine with your control.
We were seeing some calls yesterday that they were on the line of the zone, and some could go one way, some could go the other, and you don't want them to be called balls when you're needing the strikes there to end the inning.
Exactly, and you put your defense to sleep too when you start walking players. That's the other problem with that. So Scarberry's finally set as she rocks and delivers, and that's going to be a strike on the outside part of the plate. For strike two, as Cornell watched that one go by. She knew it was a strike, just not in a spot she wanted to do anything with it. And she comes set now back in the box. Kind of a neutral stance, a wide base. And she covers most of that box, but right in the middle as that pitch is delivered on the outside edge again, but this time a little bit outside, and it's going to be for ball one. So 1-2 is the count, 0 outs. Got a runner on second. Scarberry rocks and delivers a changeup, gets her out in front of him, but she was able to bop it into second and outfield, and that'll be brought in for a single. That's a good job by right fielder there, cutting it off, getting it back to the pitcher, and keeping the runners on the corners.
Yeah, real rough to see this early into the inning with no outs. A runner on first and third, but at the very least you are stopping them from getting that early point on the board.
So now the pressure is on as Scarberry has no outs and runners on the corner. And she comes into the meat of the lineup here as up to bat will be Pound. Shortstop for the Beavers. And this top of this lineup really is built around speed and chaos, as all three of these hitters are looking to cause damage when they get on the bases. As Scarberry delivers, the pitch is going to be outside, ball one. So 1-0 is our count as Pound steps back into the box. Looks like the rain is starting to dissipate even more. It's not as gray as it was. Scarberry rocks, delivers. There's a shot out to right field that is going to be caught at the line for out number one. But that'll be enough, though, for the sac fly and the runner to score and ties it up 1-1. Nice job by Pound of hitting that sac fly, getting the runner in. Now the runner on first did not advance, so she stays at first as Mount Vernon appealed to make sure that the tag up was good, and it was. So 1 out. 1-1's the score as there's still a runner on first base, and now stepping in is going to be the catcher, number 10, Jarris. Scarborough looks over the first base dugout for her signal as she steps back in and onto the plate. Rocks and delivers, and it's going to be foul tipped straight back for strike one.
Now, one thing we saw from both teams yesterday were some nice double plays to get them out of tricky spots with only 1 out. And I don't know how possible that's going to be with things still being wet out there.
It'll be a little tougher in conditions today, that is for sure, as that ball is going to be a little bit slower in its movement, and I believe the girls are a little bit more cautious in how hard they want to try to throw that with the lack of grip. So Scarborough delivers again. It's going to be outside, and the runner takes off from first and goes to second with no problem on the stolen base, as there was not even an attempt on the throwdown. So now we got a runner in second with 1 out. Right back in the scoring position. Outfield's playing medium deep, the infield playing normal. As both third and first are even with the bags. Scarborough rocks, delivers, and there's going to be a pop-up down the right side, and it will make its way into the stands for a foul ball. Counts 1 and 2. So we'll see if Pound's able to battle her way out of this hole, or if Scarborough is able to shut that door. Really kind of slow the pace of the game down here when the runners get on base. And Scarborough comes set finally. Rocks back and delivers and gets her up the ladder as she struck her out, and that's a big K right there, as Scarborough needed that to get the second out. So now you have 2 outs with the runner on second, and up to bat will be the pitcher, Davis. Again, Davis more of a average speed hitter. As she comes set, Scarborough delivers. That's going to be outside, ball 1. Scarborough checks her wristband again as the breeze picks up a little bit here. Pushing out to center field. Scarborough delivers. It's going to be swung on and fouled off by Davis to the left side.
Our runner on second here is really itching for any chance to take third, making it almost halfway by the time the ball hits the bat here.
Yeah, I used to have a player for me that would give me a lot of gray hairs on doing stuff like that. Would love to get into those rundowns in between second and third, knowing the potential to score. You got to be crazy to pull those off, but sometimes it works. Scarborough delivers again, and this time again outside. As Roderick fell back to her seat, reaching over to catch that in the batter's box. So 2-1's the count as Scarborough steps back onto the plate, rocks back and delivers, and again misses outside for a 3-1. Deliberate pace here by the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets as they get the call in. Scarborough comes set. Rocks delivers, and this time she gets her to swing, and that'll move the count up to full at 3-2. So the runner will be off from second regardless on this pitch as full count. Even though there's no runner on first, I just got a feeling she's itching to move and is going to go regardless. So we'll see here. Scarborough comes set. Davis at the plate. 3-2 delivery is strike 3. Painted the outside edge to get the final out. So our score at the end of 1, Mount Vernon 1, Riverside 1. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Great news, Central Ohio. Foster's Pharmacy offers daily dose packaging, which are convenient and simple. It's truly personalized care you're looking for. It just starts with a call to get started. Take the hassle out of your medications. Call 740-392-0911. Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This is Jacob at A Plus Auto Brokers. You owe it to yourself to upgrade your ride. Search our inventory from anywhere by going to goaplusauto.com. With sales and service, you won't need to go anywhere else. A Plus Auto Brokers is home of the repeat customer for a reason. Come see us today. Call 740-393-0366 or stop by at 504 West High Street. We will also buy your car for cash. Again, this is Jacob from A Plus Auto Brokers, where we keep Knox County rolling.
Championship merchandise today.
We are back at Firestone Stadium as we get set for the start of the second inning. 1-1 is our score. In what is a very overcast day here in Akron, Ohio, but it is Ohio, so stick around. It could change in 5 minutes. As Scarberry will be set to lead off here. She was at bat to end the last inning. The out was caught at second base, allowing her to reset her at bat and come up here to lead off the second. So Davis will be towing the rubber still. As she comes set in the box, everybody's ready to go. I believe so. As they look into the dugout on the third base side, does Davis for the signal. Gets it and comes set. Rocks, and there's the delivery, and it's going to be outside for ball one. Seems like the strike zone today is a little bit tighter than what yesterday's was. Again, something each of these pitchers are going to have to make adjustments to get into that zone and set for. So the 1-0 delivery here to Scarberry is going to be swung on and fouled off to the right, as they will give a little bit of chase, but it'll make the stands for strike number one. So 1-1 will be our count. Here to the leadoff batter at the start of the second inning. Scarberry would love to help out her cause with a base hit or even better, a home run. So Davis will rock on the 1-1 delivery. The pitch is up and in for ball two. And they have a timeout on the field. A foul ball was thrown out onto the field by one of the fans. So they will get that situated and get back into order to play. So 2-1 count on Scarberry. She steps into the box. Davis rotates the ball a little bit in her glove as she comes set, rocks and delivers, and again fouled off, this time a little bit further down that right field line. And evens the count up at 2-2. So Davis set circle. Scarberry set in the box as they get ready here for the 2-2 pitch, and Davis gets to the outside, but Scarberry sends it to center field, and a great job there by the center fielder, tracking it down 4 or 5 steps to her left and getting the first out.
Great job holding on to it too. That catch looked like it was in the top half of the glove, and with it being wet, if the ball's still wet out there, would be a terrible thing to have an error where that just slips right out there.
Well, that would have caused what I'd love to actually have happen all the time on a softball field, which is chaos. Once that ball scoots away, you start running everywhere and anywhere you can. And I had plenty of teams that would thrive in those situations. So 1 out here, as stepping up to bat is going to be Bates. Davis rocks, delivers, and that pitch is a strike on the outside edge. For strike one. So the 0-1 delivery. Bates fakes the bunt, pulls back, swings, fouls it straight back, and now is in the hole, 0-2. Bates takes her time as she readjusts her gloves outside the box, comes set. Thinking about her approach here to figure out a way to find some offense with an 0-2 count, 1 out here at the top of the second. Davis delivers and, ooh, boy, just missed either high or outside, not sure which direction, but it wasn't much. And brings the count to 1-2. Outfield plays slightly shifted to the right. Infield at normal depth as Bates again shows bunt, pulls back, and swings and misses for strike out number 2 of the game for Davis.
Today's game not nearly as pretty as yesterday's, but I wanted to give a quick reminder that unfortunately this late into tournament season, we aren't able to live stream any video with us here from the stadium. But we appreciate everyone listening in.
So Pollard comes up to bat now with 2 outs here in the bottom of the top of the first or second. Good Lord, come on, Dave. Got to get this under control. All right. Davis rocks, delivers, and this ball will be fouled off again to the right. And what this is telling me is, as this game progresses, watching these hitters foul these balls off to the right, is they're going to start timing this in their second and third at bats. So Davis may be one that struggles as the order flips and sees her more than once. Beautifully pitched changeup on the outside. And all Pollard could do was just flick the bat at it and foul it off. And is now quickly in the hole, 0-2. So Davis gets a new ball as she walks back into the center of the diamond. Comes set. Pollard. Deep stance in the box as she sets here for the 0-2 delivery. Davis rocks, delivers, and high and away for ball 1. Pollard playing first today is batting number 7th in the order. Davis comes set again as she rocks back and delivers. This one is going to again be fouled off and catch the light pole on its way over there. And these aren't soft fouls either when they're going off to the right. They're coming in with some pizzazz, as they like to say.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd be sitting right of the net today.
No, that might be a hot spot, so to speak. Not only are you getting wet, you could possibly go home with a black eye. So the pace of play in this game right now, very deliberate and methodical, as they still are waiting here for the delivery of the 1-2 pitch. Davis finally comes set, rocks, and will deliver. And was it a check swing? No, it was not. Good call there by first base. Even though Riverside was pandering to get the call, she did not go, and it evens the count at 2-2. But Davis comes set now as she rocks and delivers, and that is going to be low on the outside part of that plate. Brings the count full, 3-2. So we'll see what Pollard comes up with here on the full count, as Davis will be looking to put her away and end this inning with no runs. Davis rocks as she delivers, and Pollard again fouls it off, again to the right side. Stay alive, and a good job here by Pollard of keeping this bat going. You just hope through her perseverance and determination she'll be rewarded with a nice hit, but it can't always be the case. So again, we'll go with the full count pitch, 3-2, 2 outs. Davis rocks and delivers, and this time it's a walk as it goes in high above the shoulders. And gives Mount Vernon a runner with 2 outs here at first.
They will return it to the field. Thank you.
Just reminding the fans to return it to an usher and not just throw it on the field. Some good advice, don't you think, Gary?
I'd say so.
Yeah. Apparently having more than one ball in the field at the same time is not a good idea. Who would have thought? So Pope steps in now with 2 outs here as Davis rocks, delivers, and hits her right on the shoulder. And all of a sudden now, Mount Vernon's got 2 runners on with 2 outs.
It's a shame you've got to take that ball to get the free walk, but it puts your team in a way better place here. So
it does, and luckily for Pope, she had the elbow guard on, was able to catch it right there on the elbow guard. Now, coming up to bat is going to be Stindl, and for those of you who were around yesterday, apparently Stindl had a heck of a game and was driving in a lot of runs. So if you're the Yellow Jackets right now, this is the batter you want to have up. Although you got the 2 outs, you got 2 runners on, both with some decent speed. If Stindl can get another double like she did yesterday, you could find yourself looking at a 3-1 lead. No pressure, just saying. But we will get a pinch runner, as coming in to run for Pollard is going to be, excuse me here while I find her, Riley Butke to do the running. So the home plate umpire will make sure both sides are aware of the change. And get set here behind home plate now. So Stindl will step in the box. Davis steps on the plate. 2 outs, 2 on. Top half of the second, as that pitch is going to be popped up, and she knows it right to second base behind first base. It'll be caught, and that'll be the out to end the inning. So our score after 1.5 is Mount Vernon 1, Riverside 1. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901. Where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
This is Lorraine from Buckeye Stoves, and it's time to sweep your chimney. Buckeye Stoves, we invite you to take advantage of our spring sweep specials. Save $25. Have peace of mind maintaining your stove, fireplace, or insert. Here's even a better deal. If you bundle, combine a sweep with a dryer vent or gutter cleaning. Receive 10% off the bundle. Give Buckeye Stoves a call, 694-7902. Catch us on the web at buckeyestoves.com. Buckeye Stoves, the cozy way to save.
Back at it we are for the bottom half of inning number 2. As we have a 1-1 tie ball game here in the state championship of the Division II OHSAA finals. So Wilhelm will be the leadoff batter for Riverside. The first baseman for them. So Wilhelm comes set up towards the front of the box and in tight up against the plate. Scarborough gets the signal, rocks, delivers, and it's going to fall short, hit the ground, and be ball number 1.
Quite short. Almost looked like it hit before the batter's box even.
Yeah, you were probably about 2 or 3 feet short on that drop ball. So 1-0 pitch here for Scarborough as Wilhelm is in the box. Swing, and it's going to be fouled straight back and up against the fence. It'll make it a 1-1 count. We'll swap out the softballs as that one was a little bit wet. And they will finally come set again. 1-1 is our count here as Scarborough gets the signal, walks back into the circle, and she delivers as that is going to be inside, I guess. It looked like it caught the inside part at the knees, but maybe it was a little further than I can see. So 2-1 will be the count. Now Scarborough will rock and deliver again on the inside. Ball number 3. So 3-1. Wilhelm is ahead of the count. Roderick is doing the best she can to kind of frame these pitches, though. I don't know how well, though, it's helping the cause. So Scarberry on the 3-1 delivery is going to be shot right back up the middle, and that's going to get down in between the center fielder and right fielder and get all the way to the fence as Wilhelm rounds second and will be in with a triple to lead off the bottom half of the second inning.
And by the time that ball made it in, with these conditions, the ball just rolled 20-odd feet. You don't want to risk throwing it, overthrowing it, dropping it, and then getting a score off that.
Yeah, so your throws, like you were mentioning, Gary, they just don't have as much oomph on them. You're just trying to get the ball into the general area, hoping you don't overshoot where it needs to be. So stepping up to the plate now is going to be Kevern, the designated player. With nobody out and a runner on third. Third baseman pinches in, as does the first baseman. Comes set, there's the delivery, a swing and a miss, fouled straight back. Well, Vernon was possibly thinking a little small ball, but Kevern here is thinking drive it somewhere deep. So 0-1 count as signal comes in from the first base dugout out to Scarberry. And that ball is up and out of the zone for ball one. So 1-1 pitch here for Scarberry as she rocks and delivers is going to be low for ball two. You know, you wonder as an umpire how much movement by the catcher affects your calling of the game. As that pitch is delivered and swung on, fouled straight up to the right again. And almost catches a unsuspecting youngster there on top of the head. Well, she was lucky she didn't caught, but catcher from Mount Vernon is very active behind the plate, and I'm wondering if that isn't affecting a little bit of the umpire's calls here.
It's all going so fast, too. The pitch is fast, the catch is fast, and then the small movements of the hand right after the pitch, also incredibly fast.
It's a lot going on as the count is now full 3-2 as Scarberry delivers, and this again is going to be popped up again to the right, and that'll land on the roof, make a couple bounces, and fall on top. Probably this Jeep behind us, I'm suspecting. Who knows? So again, full count, runner at third. 1-1 is our score here in the bottom of the second. As Kevern is waiting at the plate for Scarberry to deliver. She rocks and fires, and again, low, ball four. Boy. They are struggling to find that zone right now is the Yellow Jackets. The catcher was just talking to the umpire behind home plate, making sure, figure out is it low, is it outside, inside, you know, trying to help. But we'll see here now as we got two runners on and no outs, and that ball is going to be blooped to shortstop and caught for out number one, and a big break there as Powell is just going to be the first out. So one out now with a runner on first and third. And the number 9 hitter, Dulce, is up to bat. Seeing if she can't help her team out. So Scarberry gets the signal from the dugout, comes set, delivers, and again low. Ball one. It seemed like they are struggling even to get the calls in from the dugout on what pitch selection to go with right now as she finally gets it and delivers, and this is going to be popped up to right field. That may be trouble. A second comes over and off the glove, foul. she'll stay alive on that one. She got lucky there to avoid that out. They will swap out game balls again. Apologize. That is a lot of the delay in the play here, is changing out softballs. I understand it. I get it. But it takes the rhythm and the flow out of what you're doing out on the field a lot of times too. So Dulcie comes set in the box as Scarberry gets the signal here on the 1-1 delivery, and this time again popped up and out of play. And again up over the roof, and this time across the street and up against the fort. So 1-2 now is our count. Runner at first, it's third. 1-1 is our score as we sit in the bottom of the second inning. Mount Vernon and Riverside tied. So delivered by Scarberry is high, ball 2. 2-2 is the count.
You really got to get that strikeout here if you're Mount Vernon.
Oh, yeah.
With only one out, any hit to the outfield is a score. But as soon as you get that second out, any pops, it could be the end of the inning now.
Could be. We'll see here now on that check swing, and they said that she did not offer on that one either. So you're now looking at a full count, 3-2. Or a nice little comebacker to the pitcher, turn a double play, something like that. Yeah, they strikeout or an easy double play is what they need served up, but something tells me that's not going to be in the cards as Scarberry delivers the full count pitch. It's fouled straight back again, as Dulcie is having a heck of an at-bat here.
Yeah, but as we were saying, with current field conditions, any double play isn't easy anymore.
Very true. Very, very true. So 3-2 is the count, 1 out, runner at first and third. As Scarberry comes set with the delivery and the pitch, and it is in tight, fouled off down the third base line. Good job getting her hands to the zone there and fight that off. So 3-2 is the count as we come set here. Ball back in play. Dulcie steps back in the box as Scarberry checks the wristband for the signal. Comes set as she delivers and got her to chase it up high out of the zone. A strikeout and out number 2.
There it was.
That was big. That was just like you called there, Gary.
And that could keep them tied going into the third here.
They get out of this, that could change a lot of things. We saw the momentum swap back and forth yesterday. This is how those situations happen. As they're going to have a timeout, though, for Coach Pence. Going to talk this over as we get back to the top of the lineup. Gracie had a double the last time she was up. Eventually come around to score.
Well, while we have a second, Kyle, I'm going to thank all of our great sponsors for bringing us out here. Our title sponsor, Extreme Air LLC, as well as Griffin Insurance, Knox County Veteran Services, Gearing Custom Renovations, Buckeye Stoves, MTV Arts with the 9 to 5 The Musical, Cubs Electric and Construction, A-Plus Auto Brokers, and Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy. A lot of great businesses bringing us out here to this game again today.
Indeed, and it's always a pleasure to bring you these events live and in person. Unfortunately, due to the regulations, you have to look at my ugly face today rather than beautiful softball. But that's why Gary's here, to help soften that blow.
I can try.
So the meeting has finally been broken up. And they come set. As we come ready. So again, reset. Runner at first, runner at third. 2 outs, bottom of the second. 1-1 is our score. Leadoff hitter is in the box as Scarberry rocks and delivers, and this one is fouled off and behind the plate. So 0-1 count here. I want to say this is probably the first time we've seen a batter up in consecutive innings. As the delivery is made. It's going to be outside for ball number 1. So Scarberry checks her wristband here as she gets the 1-1 signal from the dugout. 2 outs, runners on first and third. As she delivers in this ball again, fouled off to the left. Make the count 1-2. So Scarberry comes set. The batter is now back in the box as she rocks and delivers. And it is shot right back up the middle. And it'll get into center field. That'll be enough for 1 run to score. As the center fielder was able to get there quick enough to hold the runner at first to second, but run across and you still have runners at first and second as the top of the lineup continues to come.
That's the exact hit the Beavers needed there. Right between the infielders. Enough into the outfield where you could get that runner on third into home for your advantage here in the game now, being 2-1.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a big moment there, but it's also one of those moments where you have to, as a team, remember it's still only 1 run. We came back for more. We can do it again, but let's not get outside of ourselves. Let's not try to do something we can't do.
Yeah, they got to keep their heads cool here in this inning before they even think about hitting, too. They still have 2 people on base here.
So they will have a courtesy runner as Samantha Granchi is going to come in and run for her sister. Nope, her sister's at first. I apologize. She's going to come and run for Powell. So Turnow is going to be up to bat as she had a single and a stolen base her last at bat in the first inning. 2-1 is our score here in the bottom of the second. 2 outs. Runner at first and second for Riverside as Scarberry rocks and delivers, and that's going to be outside ball 1. Overcast day here in Akron with a slight breeze blowing out towards right center field. Not enough to affect the ball a whole lot in the air. Scarberry rocks back and delivers, and it's going to be a grounder to second. It's going to be bobbled at second, and they're going to send her home, and got her. Great job of staying on that ball and not giving up by the second baseman to get the out at home plate. So our score after 2 is Riverside 2, Mount Vernon 1. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
We are back here at Firestone Stadium for the action here in the 3rd inning of the state championship Division II between Riverside Beavers and the Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets. And I tell you what, that was very minimal damage for what could have been a lot worse situation there by the Yellow Jackets. And credit to Scarberry along with the rest of her teammates staying true as at runner on first and second. You're at top of the order with 2 outs, but ball grounder to second. Second baseman struggles to field it. As we said, this is going to be something that happens all night tonight because of the conditions. But she stayed true. She stayed on it, did not pout, did not get upset. Got it, came home with it because they knew the runner was just going to keep coming anyways with 2 outs. And a great job there of delivering the ball on point. Catcher catching it and getting the out at home. So now we are back to the top of the lineup here for the Yellow Jackets as Myers will lead off. As again, the defense will creep in at second and third parallel to the pitcher. As Davis will rock and deliver. It's going to be high for ball 1. So Davis comes set again. Myers has got a deep stance in the box and will deliver that ball, and they're going to say that's a strike at the knees on the outside part of the plate. Even the count at 1-1. So Davis comes set again. She will deliver, and then it's going to be high and away. Oh, they're going to call that a strike. And that is going to make the count 1-2.
A bit of outrage from the fans over that one.
Yeah. Well, even Coach Pence might have had something to say as well about that. It did look like it was up, but again, angles as this pitch is delivered inside, ball 2. So 2-2 will be the count here as Myers is up to lead off the third inning, or second at bat. She was able to reach on an E6. Her last at bat in first, and eventually would come around to score. There's a delivery. She offers at it. It's low. She misses. The catcher drops it, but is able to scoop it and get the out at first. So 1 out for the Jackets.
Great job on her for running through, though, as soon as she noticed the ball was dropped by the catcher there.
That is something you have to teach a lot, because it is a hard habit for kids to pick up. So Kennedy will come up to bat now as she stands in. Got a sack bunt, her first time up. This pitch is delivered. It's going to be outside by Davis and low. For ball 1. 2-1 is our score here at the top of the third as Mount Vernon is up to bat. Davis will rock and deliver again outside, ball 2. As Davis takes a little stroll behind the pitching plate before she steps back up and on with the 2-0 count. She will rock back, fire, and deliver, and again, nope, this time she will get that outside corner, and this will be strike 1 to make it 2-1. Davis does a good job of finding that area that she can get in and out of and not get too far behind the runners, or the hitters. So 2-1 delivery is right at the top of the zone, 2-2, and like I said, she's figured out how to do that. She has done a great job whether you like it or not. He's gone. That's his first warning. Pence was just given a warning. Not happy with that call. And it's again, I've been there, I've done this. I'm behind the plate, now I'm sitting 20 feet in the air. I've coached the third, I've been behind the plate. The angles are weird, but Coach Pence is feeling that he's not getting due justice, and that's, as a coach, is all you ask. Whether it doesn't matter what you're calling, just be consistent both ways with how you call that. Call that for my pitcher, call that for their pitcher. And right now he's got a grievance where he is feeling, and I can't argue completely against him, that maybe that is not being given to him. It doesn't change how you still have to play this game, but that's kind of what they're going through right now, and the Mount Vernon fans are not overly excited about it as they are starting to get the Boo Birds out here in Akron. So we'll come reset here after that warning by the official, and it'll be a 2-2 count with 1 out as Davis delivers, and that is going to be outside, ball 3. And make it a 3-2 count here with 1 out. 2-1 our score here in top of the third. As Davis comes set. Checks her wristband one more time as she rocks and delivers, and that one's high, ball 4. So the first walk by Davis, the second base runner allowed without a hit as she hit it better, I believe. Yes, it was Pope that she hit in the second inning. So that'll give Roderick a chance here with 1 out and a runner on first to see if she can't do some damage as they will pinch in on the corners. Center field shades slightly to the right as that ball is delivered inside, and it's called a strike. Roderick is one that does stand up on the line. She does crowd that plate deep in the box. So oftentimes that elbow will hang in the strike zone. So Davis will rock back, deliver, and this is going to be a pop-up. It might be trouble as it does get down over second baseman's head. But unfortunately, because you couldn't tell if she would catch it or not, Kennedy had to be cautious in her running and had to make sure it got down, so she only got to second. But one out, runners at first and second. And a great job there by Kennedy of recognizing what was going on, not overdoing it in case she did catch it. But also a good job by the shortstop there for Riverside of selling that she still had a chance to catch it. Make sure that the runner couldn't get too far down that line. So the ball fell in center field. It's going to be a single. It's going to put 2 runners on with 1 out. And it's going to bring up Brooklyn with a chance here to do some damage. Davis will rock and deliver, and that is going to be outside, ball 1. So Brooklyn comes set in the box as Kennedy is on second. And the pitch is delivered a strike right at the knees. Makes it 1-1. It'd be interesting. I was wondering, you haven't seen a lot of the base running games, stealing of the bases come into play, and I'm wondering if at some point you got to start taking those risks, as the 1-1 delivery is waved at way outside of the zone in the other batter's box, as Brooklyn would like to have that pitch back. So Dovenbarger is in the hole 1-2 with 1 out, runners at first and second. Davis will rock and deliver, and this ball will be fouled off to the right. Good job staying alive there by Brooklyn. Keeps count at 1-2 with 1 out. So Davis will get a new ball, get back into the circle and come set. Brooklyn will step into the box. Davis rocks and fires on the 1-2 pitch, and it will be fouled off. Good job again, just staying alive. As Dovenbarger was fooled a little bit on that changeup, but was able to keep her hands back and just flip it free. Keep it 1-2 count. So Davis in the circle, checks her wristband as she comes set. Rocks back and delivers, and this time it is driven to right, and it will be caught by the right fielder. Back to second, and safe. Kennedy back just in time. Great job, though, of recognizing that in right field and getting the ball back in quickly. But that is out number 2 with runners still at first and second.
Yeah, great catch and a clean throw there, all the way into second base.
So Scarberry will get an opportunity to help herself as she comes up to bat here with 2 outs and 2 on in the top of the third. She popped out her last at bat as the delivery there by Davis is at the knees for strike number 1. Scarberry back in the box as Davis gets the signal, checks her wristband, comes set. Rocks and delivers, and this is a shot down the right field line, fair ball, as this is going to be trouble into the corner, bobbled again, as they're going to send the runner home. That's going to be 2 runs, and Scarberry puts them on top, 3-2 with a double.
A great hit there. Looked like it was going foul at first, right off the tip of the first baseman's glove, and by then the 2 runners were gone.
And that is a great job there of Scarberry just sitting back on that pitch. Didn't try to turn on it, took it to the opposite field. It was just high enough that it bounced off of the first baseman's glove, and that's no small feat in and amongst itself, as Wilhelm's probably close to 6 feet over there at first base. But a shot off of her glove went into the corner, and as we've seen all night long, the outfielders just struggled, or fielders in general are struggling to be able to pick that ball up and get it back in. That was enough, allowed 2 runs to score, and that puts them up 3-2 now, as courtesy runner will come in for Scarberry at second base.
I don't know how much things have dried off, but I know wind turf tends to get really wet. Your max speed gets really lowered, because if you start sprinting on it to try and catch that ball, you're going to fall.
Yeah, it's almost like a slip and slide at that stage. As they will have to remove the towel. As Bates will come up to bat here. 2 outs, runner on second. That is a courtesy runner for Scarberry. I believe Joyner is who it is, as the pitch is low and outside. Ball 1. Gary, with your eagle eyes, can you get a number there on second base?
I cannot.
No. Guess those are old eagle eyes. Got it. The 1-0 pitch delivered by Davis to Bates is going to be fouled off straight to the back. I believe that looked like it was 14, so that would be Nia Joyner. Is running over there at second.
I don't know how you could see that. I still can't tell, but I think everyone watching the stream right now can see I've got my glasses on and everything.
And I'm old. That's what they can tell too, as Davis comes set with a 1-1 count here. Bates is in the box, ready for the delivery as Joyner gets her lead, and a changeup just floated outside. And this time, though, she did not get the call, as that is going to be ball number 2, and Bates will be ahead in the count. Bates last time struck out, so she's looking to make amends for that for sure. Davis rocks, delivers, and there it is, a drive to right field. It's going to get over the count to the center fielder. It's going to hit the fence as Joyner will score. Bates in the second. The amends have been made. The runs have been scored, and it's 4-2.
Mount Vernon's just cycling these runners right now. Runner up to bat, hits it in the outfield. Runner on second comes in to score.
That is a lot of times how you try to say it and play it, to be honest with you. Again, plays different than baseball as you're learning. So doubles are a lot more common. And as you would say, your hitters, get out there and keep replacing each other. Go hit another double, go and replace. Just keep going. You feed off of each other. You get that energy going. You got 3 on the board right now. It doesn't matter with the 2 outs because you've got the pressure. And if they can keep adding, this might be the inning they need. So Pollard up to bat here as she swings and misses. She was looking to add 2 more runs to that score real quick, as Coach Pence is reminding her, no, just get the ball in play. We'll be all right. So Davis looks into the dugout, gets the call here on the 0-1 pitch. Bates is at second. 4-2 is our score as Pollard swings, fouls it off down the right field line. And make it an 0-2 count. Pollard, her last at bat, did manage to draw a walk. She did fall behind like she is now in that count, and still was able to get on base, so we'll see if she's able to do that again here today, or as we said, just get the ball in play. The way it's skipping and bouncing and catching water, you never know what could happen. So Davis with the 0-2 delivery. It's going to be high and outside, ball 1. So 4-2 is our score right now as we sit top of the 3rd inning. 2 outs in the 2025 Division II State Championship softball. Davis comes set as she rocks, delivers. Pollard turns, gets a popper to left as the shortstop backs and brings it in for out number 3. So that is the 3rd out, but not before doing some damage. As our score here, Mount Vernon 4, Riverside 2. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Veterans serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
This is Jacob at A+ Auto Brokers. You owe it to yourself to upgrade your ride. Search our inventory from anywhere by going to goaplusauto.com. With sales and service, you won't need to go anywhere else. A+ Auto Brokers is home of the repeat customer for a reason. Come see us today. Call 740-393-0366 or stop by at 504 West High Street. We will also buy your car for cash. Again, this is Jacob from A+ Auto Brokers, where we keep Knox County rolling.
Back at it we are here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. 4-2 is our score as life came back into the Yellow Jackets. The Beehive got into a swarm and found all types of honey as they were able to put 3 runs across the board last inning. And Scarberry helped her cause out with a big 2-run double.
Leading off for Riverside High School, the shortstop.
So we'll see if she's able to carry that momentum here. You've struggled both innings as you've been unable to put a 0 up there yet against Riverside. So Pound is up to bat as Scarberry delivers, swung on and fouled off of, I believe, both the catcher and the batter, as that pitch was in hard, tight, and she was just trying to protect herself. Last at bat, she hit a sac fly. She was able to move a runner up and help with that scoring in the first inning. Scarberry rocks, delivers, and that ball drops way shy of the plate, about 4 feet for ball number 1. So 1-1's our count here with no outs. 4-2 is our score in the bottom of the 3rd. Scarberry rocks, delivers, and that ball swung on, fouled straight back, and makes the count 1-2. And this right now is where Scarberry struggled today specifically, is when she's ahead 1-2 of getting that out pitch. So we'll see if she's able to make that adjustment here and get this out as she rocks and fires, and got it on the strikeout. It is. And this time that changeup stayed true, fell through the zone, and the hitter chased it, getting the first out. Good job by the young pitcher there on that adjustment.
Yeah, Mount Vernon wants to see 2 more of these this inning to really cement that 2-point lead.
The catcher, number 10, Emmy Jarris.
So Jarris is up to bat as she struck out her first time. Well, that's 2 batters, both Jarris and Davis, the catcher and the pitcher, both struck out against Scarberry. So we'll see what happens when she corrects that with a shot right back up the middle for a single. Said, I don't know what you're talking about, Kyle. I was just playing around. So she gets with a 1-out single here in the bottom of the 3rd. That'll bring up Davis. See if Davis can help out her cause the same way Scarberry helped out her own last inning.
Pitcher, number 14, Annalise Davis.
Again, Davis, her last at bat, struck out. Scarberry looks for the signal and finally gets it. Comes set, delivers, and it's going to be outside. Ball 1. Tell you, Mount Vernon's catcher definitely has a flair for the framing. There is a artwork she puts into it. It is impressive. So 1-0 delivery here by Scarberry, and that's going to be popped up right back to Scarberry for the out, and that's out number 2. So quickly they got 2 outs now. And the runner on first. And up to bat is Wilhelm. Now, Wilhelm saw the ball real well last at bat, was able to drive herself all the way to 3rd on a triple, and later come in to score. So Scarberry would see what kind of adjustment she makes here as she comes set with the 2-out pitch. And that is strike 1. That was a slow call on that strike, and I was worried if it wasn't called a strike that half of these stands may have emptied out onto the field. That was a tense little half second right there. As Scarberry comes set on the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be high, ball 1. Runner at first dancing off a little bit, but no real threat down there. 2 outs, you're not trying to run yourself out of an inning down by 2. So Wilhelm back in the box, the delivery, and there's going to be a pop-up down that right side. It could be trouble, and it goes foul. And that'll keep her alive. And, boy, I tell you, she was open probably about another 8 feet to the left. If she had found the right distance, that was just out of the range of that right fielder. She was not going to catch it. But unfortunately, it went out of play and keeps the count at 1-2. Scarberry comes set as she gets the ball, rocks and delivers, and it's going to be high again with 2. So 2-2 will be our count here with 2 outs. Wilhelm takes her time before she steps back in. Comes set. Scarberry rocks, fires, and that's going to be fouled straight back to the fence. As she stays alive with a 2-2 count. It's a good cut on that pitch. Unfortunately, she was just off. And she had a swing that was looking to do some more damage. So Wilhelm steps back in on this 2-2 pitch. Scarberry rocks and delivers, and it's going to be high again for ball 3. It just seems like maybe her rise ball, which she was having a little bit of success with yesterday, just in this colder condition, the heavier air is struggling to be as controllable as she hopes. So she now looks at a 3-2 count here. 2 outs. Runner on first will be on the go as that is delivered. A changeup, strike 3 called, and she gets out of the inning there on a beautiful pitch. So our score after 3, Mount Vernon 4, Riverside 2.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
You never thought your child would get their own home so soon, but it needs new wiring pulled and the kitchen could use a makeover. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric and Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004.
Cubbage Electric and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Cubbage Electric and Construction, 740-627-8004.
Great news, Central Ohio. Foster's Pharmacy offers daily dose packaging, which are convenient and simple. It's truly personalized care you're looking for. It just starts with a call to get started. Take the hassle out of your medications. Call 740-392-0911. Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Welcome back here on WMVO. Kyle had to step away, used the restroom here real fast. We are getting ready to start the top of the 4th inning here. Mount Vernon up to bat, currently leading 4-2. Pretty exciting point for them. They were able to hold off the Beavers last inning. Really quickly, I want to thank our sponsors, our title sponsor, Extreme Air LLC, Griffin Insurance, Knox County Veteran Services, Gearing Customer Innovations, Buckeye Stoves, MTV Arts with 9 to 5 The Musical, Cubbage Electric and Construction, A-Plus Auto Brokers, as well as Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy. So first up for Mount Vernon, we have number 2, Presley Pope, and she's in the batter box now, a righty here. And we are getting ready to see our first pitch. Davis rocks back, throws it. It is going to be outside, maybe a touch low there for ball 1. Resetting herself in the circle here. And Davis kind of looking in her glove, lining it up. Rocking back here and releasing. Ooh, a light swing here to third base. Thrown to first here. It's going to be a first out here for the Beavers. And next up for Mount Vernon, we're going to have number 25. And that is Harley Stindl here, up to bat next. 1 out, still up by 2 here. And it was just a little unfortunate on that last hit. It was looking like it was trying to go in between third and short. Would have been beautiful. Probably out towards the fence there, but got picked up by third base. And Harley's up to bat. Rocks back here by Davis. Pitch released and looked to be a little low, maybe a touch outside here for ball 1. And Kyle's back finally.
Indeed, thank you. So Stindl with a 1-0 pitch coming her way from Davis as she gets set, shows bunts, turns, and she's going to pop it up to right field as the right fielder will drift underneath it and bobbles it. unbelievable drop as the play there at second not made either. And Stindl is in with a, well, I guess it's not a double, as she is in at second base, though, on the error by the right fielder. And that is a costly kind of mistake.
A bit of a miracle there that she was able to make it to second.
I mean, that was 15 feet into the grass, so it wasn't a very deep hit.
Yeah.
It was high pop-up. And unfortunately, I think what happened is just at the last second, the right fielder, unfortunately, I think she just took her eyes off that ball, therefore didn't secure it, and it dropped. And that resulted in Snow getting to second base, and now they have a runner at second with one out, as a courtesy runner will come in.
That is Isla Graham, by the way, if you weren't able to catch it.
Thank you. As Graham will be the courtesy runner here in the fourth inning. So back to the top of the order we go. As Myers steps into the box with one out and a runner at second. They pinch in at second and third and play shallow in the outfield as she slaps at that pitch and just got on the top of it as it dribbled off the end of her bat and goes foul for strike number one. I always loved having a slap hitter at the top of the order. It gives you a lot of options and things you can do when she comes back up, especially with runners on base. Puts a lot more stress on that defense. So Davis comes set with the 0-1 delivery here as Myers watches that sail high. You know, for instance, right now, if Graham's paying attention, there's nobody there. So all she could get out as far as that shortstop is minimum, because that's all she has to do then is beat her back to the bag or get all the way to third. Like, there's a lot of games you can play here if you want to. Again, it's the state, so you don't try to get out of it, but as that slap goes right to second there, she was perfectly placed. Turns and gets the out at first, but got the job done to move Graham over to third for the second out.
Yeah, giving Mount Vernon a nice opportunity to at least put one on the board here before this inning's over.
So 2 outs now as Kennedy comes up. Sack fly her first time, sack bunt her first time up. And then she drew the walk and will eventually come around to score last inning on the double by Scarborough. So Graham's at third as Kennedy comes set with the delivery, and that will be swung on and fouled off to the right as it hits the netting. Makes it 0-1 count. So Graham's at third as Davis comes set to deliver the 0-1 pitch to Kennedy as she's going to swing and again goes out to right field. Again they crash and again drop as it was again the right fielder sprinting in to catch it. I don't know how well second base communicated with her on that. They were kind of right there, and I think she pulled her eyes on that one, avoiding the collision. But again, another error, and this time that's going to allow Graham to score, and that makes it 5-2.
It's been close both these last times, too. This one was just right off the left side of that glove as she was reaching for it.
And that's, I mean, I'm telling you right now, my heart breaks for that right fielder. Because I promise you, 99 times out of 100, that catch is made by her all day long. But in the moment it was needed, unfortunately, she was not able to deliver. So 2 outs still, runner at first as the ball is delivered, and it's going to be a pop fly by Ruderick to second base. This one will be caught for the out, and that'll be 3 outs here at the end of the top half of the fourth. Our score, Mount Vernon 5, Riverside 2. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
This is Lorraine from Buckeye Stoves, and it's time to sweep your chimney. Buckeye Stoves. We invite you to take advantage of our spring sweep specials. Save $25. Have peace of mind maintaining your stove, fireplace, or insert. Here's even a better deal. If you bundle, combine a sweep with a dryer vent or gutter cleaning. Receive 10% off the bundle. Give Buckeye Stoves a call, 694-7902. Catch us on the web at buckeyestoves.com. Buckeye Stoves, the cozy way to save.
It is halfway through the ball game. Midway point, as they say. Halftime intermission. Gary was out dancing earlier. Sorry I couldn't get it on video for all of you at home. Our score here sits, though, Mount Vernon 5, Riverside 2. In a situation where costly errors on the Riverside have really put them in this hole. We will see if they were able to regather and get momentum, or if it's been too much, as those two back-to-back errors last inning kept it alive, allowed another run to come across. And in situations and settings like this, a 5-2, that 3 runs can be a huge, insurmountable problem with this kind of talent. So Scarberry will come set with no outs here as she delivers the first pitch, and it's going to be driven out to left field, and it's going to be going far, and it's going to go further than the fence allows. Home run, as that is going to be a solo shot by Keverin over the left field fence, and it's going to make it 5-3.
I mean, that's exactly what your team needed there. A great leadoff hitter, hitting a home run, lessening that gap by 1, and then riling the whole team up. They all flooded the field to cheer her on to the plate there.
That is a quick surge shot for sure, as you are always going to get your team up and on their feet. And we're going to have, what now, a conference here we are, is going to come out to the middle of the circle. The assistant coach from Mount Vernon, just have a quick little chat about things. As that was a beautiful shot there. And that would explain why she is the designated player with hits like that. Either way, it still makes it 5-3, Mount Vernon on top. As we get ready here for Powell to step in. He popped out last time she was up to shortstop. As the home plate umpire comes back to their position and gets set. 1-1, or excuse me, 0-0 is the count. 1 run across already here in the bottom half of the 4th. As Scarberry rocks and fires, and that's going to be ball 1. Again, like I said, Powell last at bat, flew out to shortstop. Just kind of a lazy pop-up. Scarberry comes set, rocks, delivers. This is going to be a shot, though, right up the middle over second base to the center fielder. And that'll be a single. And puts Powell over at first with nobody out.
Yeah, really lucky center field could get up there, because going through the infield, that was right by Scarberry, right by our second base here, and just barely made it to the outfield.
Little scooter that kind of checked up on the reverse roll, as they say. A nice little pitching wedge kind of chip out there, get it to check up on the green and roll back. So now Dulce will step into the box here with nobody out, a runner at first, a run already across on the home run by Kevin. Dulce struck out her last at bat in the second inning. Scarberry comes set, rocks, fires, and this ball is going to be shot down the gap into left center, and it's going to get down past Myers to the fence. Myers will get to it quickly, though, and back in. And a great job there of getting it in quickly, as that double will stop the runner at third. And now you got runners at second and third with no outs. And I got a feeling this is where you start to see the tides change. And you need to find a way to get back into the regrouping stage here if you're the Yellow Jackets, as they have flipped it back to the top of the order.
Yeah, Mount Vernon needs some airtight pitching here, because one good down the middle by accident, clean out to the outfield. They've got 2 runners in, and they'll be scored right back up for a tie here.
You know, and Gary, we talked about it yesterday, and you got to see it, how fast this game switches momentum. It was a 5-2 game. Everybody was bringing out the tarp. They had the horns already fired up. The lady of plus size was warming up her voice in the background. And now you're looking at it, it's 5-3, and you would think that Mount Vernon's been trailing this game from the get. It's just amazing how quickly it goes back and forth. So Gracci comes set in the box here as the delivery comes from Scarberry on the 0-0 pitch, and that catches the inside corner, strike one. Gracci has done some damage, a double and a run scored along with a single, so 2 for 2 tonight in her leadoff spot. Scarberry delivers again, changeup, beautiful, right down the outside part of that plate, about chest high. And she's ahead quickly, 0-2. And again, this is her spot she struggled in tonight, is once she's gotten up 0-2, 1-2, what she normally is able to do, get that third strike and the out, has been elusive. This one's fouled off to the left. Gracchi just staying alive up there in the batter's box, slaps at it and gets it out of play. So the rain's finally stopped. It's not too bad of a day here, other than the sky resembles my hair color. It's extremely gray. Not too humid, nice little breeze now. Scarberry rocks again on the 0-2 pitch, and this time it's going to be popped up, and this time to short for the out. And that's out number one. And I tell you, you get another one of those, and you get yourself a K, get yourself out of this problem. Now, she got out of a jam earlier this game, and she did a great job in doing that at Scarberry. We'll see if she's able to replicate that as she was able to get Gracchi to pop out to the shortstop.
Real awkward place for that ball to land. Had it been back 10 more feet, you could have maybe seen third base run for a score there after the catch.
Correct. Just not deep enough to make anything happen. So Scarberry comes set as she rock fires, and outside is going to be that pitch. The ball one. Tell you the amount of students that traveled up north here. For Mount Vernon, at least. I can't really see because of the press box on Riverside, but it is quite the calling, especially considering school's out. Scarberry delivers that pitch. It's going to be swung on and fouled off, even to count 1-1.
I don't think I'm seeing quite as many, but yeah, that Riverside has a student section too down there.
That's what you love to see. That's why these kids are here, and that's what they're doing it for, obviously. But it's great to, even after the school season has ended, they're still out here cheering them on. So the 1-1 delivery is Scarberry, a beautiful changeup, and she just painted the outside corner like her last name was Van Gogh to get strike number 2. So 1 out, runners at second and third, 5-3 is our score. Bottom of the fourth, Scarberry delivers on the 1-2 pitch, and that's going to be fouled off to the left and out of play. As Tornell will step back into the box, 1-2 count. As she grounded out her last at bat, single in the bat before that. And that ball falls low. Hit the dirt, or I guess the turf, probably about a good 4 or 5 feet before the plate. So 2-2 is the count now with runners on first and second. 5-3 is the score. Mount Vernon on top here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And Scarberry looks to get out of this jam, delivers, and the appeal is no, she did not go. So full count now for Tornell. And Scarberry checks into the dugout for the signal. Steps on the plate, comes set, rocks and fires, and that's ball 4.
That'll load the bases here for the Beavers.
Yeah, that's not what you want. Now the one thing is I will say, overall, Riverside's not a power team as far as Kevern's probably their only reliable big power hitter on the regular. Now, I'm sure these other girls can get it over the fence, but that's not their game. They're more of a speed game. So what you need to see if you can't figure out here is somehow, some way, get them to drive it in the ground, a quick little 1-2 double play or a strikeout double play, but some way to get themselves out of this. Scarborough delivers, and it's going to be high, ball 1 on the changeup.
And with how the fielding's been this game, even a nasty error could lead to 3 runners in.
Oh, easy, easy. So 1-0 count on Pound, the number 3 batter for Riverside, as Scarborough delivers, and that ball's fouled off. Goes off the glove of the catcher, back to the screen. And you got 1 out here, so the problem also is, as a base runner, is you have to be alert when that you get a lot of screamers. You know, those hard line drives come flying down there, get snagged. That's how you find a lot of yourselves getting into these double plays on base loaded situations in softball. It's not like the game of baseball where it's the traditional shortstop, second base, first base kind of double play that you see. Softball is more of a quick pace double play. So a lot of times in these situations, hot shot down to third base, she catches a screamer, steps on the bag, boom, you're out with a double play kind of setup. There's a quick shot down inside the hands of the batter there as she's able to foul it off down that third base line. So the speed of the game, as you pointed out, does not really pertain so much to getting the normal, 6-4-3 double play where it goes short, second, first. But you do get a lot of the screamer line drive, first base, third base, step back on the bag, get you out on the force there kind of setups. So 2-2 is our count now with 1 out as Pound steps back into the box. 5-3 is our score here in the bottom of the 4th, as that was the filthiest change ball I've seen, and it must have just been a lot like Willie Nelson. High. Makes our count 3-2. 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And it's interesting that Riverside has 8 hits to Mount Vernon's 5, but the 2 errors to the right are what have been their detriment, as that delivery is fouled off straight back. Pound just missed that one, as we got a full count with 1 out. And the thing that this does now is now all your runners go in motion. They got to move because you're either, well, guess you can't because that's right, only 1 out. Never mind, ignore me. 1 more out, and then you have your runners in motion on the full count. Scarborough steps back in that circle now as she gets the ball, rocks and delivers. And this is going to be a pop-up. This should be an infield fly roll out, which it is. And now you got 2 outs, and that's what she needed. There's an infield fly pop out to the shortstop. Gives you 2 outs now, and up to bat is the catcher, Jarris. Now last at bat, Jarris got a single up the middle. Before that, struck out. And now has switched sides of plate and is batting from the other side. As Scarborough winds and delivers, that's going to be high and outside, ball 1. 2 out now with runners at every base. The Mount Vernon Yellow Jackets are up 5-3. Bottom of the 4th inning, and Scarborough rocks back. She'll wind, deliver, and this is chased up and out of the zone for strike number 1. Scarborough checks the wristband as the call comes in. Makes sure she gets it, does her customary twirl of the ball in her thigh before she comes set, and rocks to deliver, and that's going to be turned on down the left field line and foul out of play and over the fence. Makes it 1-2. So Jarris steps back in the box, 2 outs, bases loaded. Bottom of the 4th is Scarborough rocks, and Jarris turns on that one. Again, sends it deep and out of play over the left field fence, foul.
Yeah, she's really swinging at these, and you can see why. There was a lot of pressure on a good hit here to get your team caught back up in this game.
Yeah, you don't want to waste. You don't want to waste the opportunity of having the bases loaded and not at least get a run across. You don't want to be the one that gets that final out. You know, that's the pressure you put on yourself as a hitter and a player in this situation. But it's also one that it's a fine line you got to dance there. You know, as the player, you don't want to overstress it because you still got to stay true to your core, you know, techniques as that pitch is delivered high for ball 2. But yeah, the pressures you're speaking to, the want to be able to give your team the opportunity to get a run across the plate here, even if it's just drawing the walk and just getting it in that sense.
Yeah, a strikeout here, though, would be detrimental.
Indeed. So 2-2 delivery here as she swung and missed, and that's what the doctor ordered, as in Dr. Cooper. So our score after 4, Mount Vernon 5, Riverside 3. You're listening to High School Softball, WMVO.
Well, hey, y'all. Wake up, pour yourself a cup of ambition, and come on down to the Woodward Opera House to see 9 to 5, the musical. Presented by MTV Arts, this Laugh Out Loud show features music and lyrics by the one and only Dolly Parton. Join Violet, Judy, and Dora Lee as they take on the boss and turn the office upside down in this feel-good, high-energy performance. Don't miss 9 to 5, the musical, this July 5th through 13th. Get your tickets at mtvarts.com.
Working 9 to 5.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
And we're back here for the top of the 5th inning. 5-3 is our score. Mount Vernon on top of Riverside. It was a nail-biter of a bottom of the 4th as bases were loaded there. It looked like they were going to do some serious damage after the home run. And Scarberry was able to button down the hatches and get a strikeout there to end it. Davis will come back out here to start the top of the 5th.
Even though the Beavers only scored 1 last inning, it really feels like they brought themselves back into this game. Still being down by 2, though.
They definitely took a lot of that momentum, as you say, out of the sails of Mount Vernon by getting that home run. That is for sure, because as we talked earlier in the inning, that was a spot where you felt like this was all but over. So we'll see if Mount Vernon's able to grab that momentum back on their side or what they're able to do with it here as Devin Barger comes up to bat to start the top of the 5th. And that pitch is a strike. And delivery there, Brooklyn fouls off to the left. They give chase, and it'll go up into the stands and out of play. So quickly the count is 0-2 on the number 4 hitter. Davis takes her time as she paces behind the pitcher plate before she finally comes set, ready to roll. Davis rocks back, fires outside, and that will be a ball. Again, reminder, our score here 5-3. Mount Vernon on top of Riverside as we are in the top half of the 5th inning in the Division II state championship. Davis will deliver, and that's going to be a shot to shortstop, picked and scooped, and that'll be out number 1. That's a great job there by the shortstop, staying on it and getting the throw over. And that'll send Brooklyn back to the dugout and bring up Scarborough.
Yeah, that shortstop there, Madison Proud, the ball was halfway out of her glove when she was reaching for it to throw. Great thing she was able to hang on to it, get that out at first.
And that was one of those that we'd seen that play at second be routine like that and bobbled. So, yeah, it's one of the first solid fielding plays that they've been able to pull off here this evening. As Scarberry steps up, and that pitch is delivered outside. So the delivery now as Davis comes set on the 1-0 pitch. Scarberry watches it go, and that catches the outside corner for strike one. So 1-1's the count for Scarberry as she's going to call time here, step out of the box as Davis was taking a little bit longer than she'd like. Is going to have Davis step off to reset herself. So Davis does as she comes set now. Rocks and fires, and this one is going to be fouled off to the right as well. Definitely get a lot of souvenir balls here if you come watch a game. So 1-2 is our count, 1 out. As Scarberry steps back into the box. Davis gets the signal, comes set, rocks, fires, and this is going to be another shot to shortstop. This time bobbled off the glove and turns and throws. But no, they say they pulled the first baseman off the bag. And she is going to be safe.
Yeah, there it was. That exact same hit, this time bobbled, led to a faster throw, was a bit off the bag, pulled first base off, runner safe now.
Another error for Riverside. They have come back to haunt them a lot in this game. As I would say 4 out of the 5 runs have been unearned. So Bates will step into the box as Graham came on to run for Scarberry. Davis comes set as she rocks, fires, and that's going to be inside, ball 1. So Bates steps out, checks the signals down at third as she gets back into the box. Davis rocks back, fires. Outside, quick throw down as Graham was dancing, and that is going to be a safe call as she was able to get back in time. So 2-0 is the count now with 1 out here in the top half of the 5th. Davis will rock back as she comes set, delivers, and this is going to be a foul ball down the right field line and out of play. Make it a 2-1 count here for the hitter from Mount Vernon. Bates has had a double and struck out. That double was a run-scoring double, so added to this 5-3 lead they have. As Davis delivers, Bates again turns, and this time gets it in between third and short on a little dribbler. And that'll put runners at first and second on a nice little single. So runners at first and second now with 1 out as Pollard will come up. She's walked and popped out to center field.
First baseman, number 24, Keely Pollard.
She will look to do some damage here for the Yellow Jackets, see if they can't add a little more to this lead, as getting a couple more runs may be what we were talking about would be enough to do it. That pitch is delivered, and it's going to catch the outside part of the plate for strike 1. So runners at the first and second now as Davis comes set to deliver. Pollard, and she will swing and miss. Strike 2. Now we've seen this out of Pollard in the previous 2 at-bats. She will get in the hole quickly. but has a good job of battling out of that hole, battling back. She drew a walk out of it the first time and then had a nice little hit. But unfortunately, the center fielder was able to track it down for her last at bat. So the 0-2 delivery here from Davis is going to be outside, ball one. Davis checks her wristband as Pollard comes set deep in that box. And swings and misses, strike three. So Pollard goes down swinging, and that'll make out number 2. And that'll bring up Pope, who was hit by a pitcher first at bat. And then popped out her last at bat. As we will have a timeout here from Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon's runner on second there, Joyner, really seems like she's looking to steal a bag here. And I think if the catcher ends up dropping a ball at all during this next play, she's taking third.
Oh yeah, she's got that crazy-eyed look of ready to go, ready to go, ready to go. So yeah, any hint that ball is not within the glove or the hand of the catcher, she's going to be looking to take third, just as you said, and which will probably allow the runner to follow up behind on the second. So Pope is going to step in now as we have 2 outs, runners at first and second. 5-3 our score, top of the 5th. Davis will rock, fire, and this ball is going to be a flare right up to the middle. It's going to drop, and nobody's going to get it. And that's one of those situations where second and short have to be communicating, and may have failed that task in that situation, as that ball just kind of, I don't know, maybe 15 feet at most in the air, just a soft little looping liner right in front of second base. I mean, just dropped within inches of second base. I mean, definitely would have scored you points in horseshoe.
And they were both there, too. Just neither of them put their hand out, communicated who was going to grab it.
And so both at the last second kind of thought the other would get it, didn't want to have the collision. And what happens when you assume? Well, you end up with bases loaded and 2 outs. So Stennel will step up to bat here, and we're going to have a pinch hitter, Meredith Jones. Now, I recall yesterday Jones had the same role and delivered huge with a double. So we'll see what she's able to do here this evening. As Davis rocks, throws, ball's popped up to left field. Shortstop goes back, makes the catch, and that is the end of the inning. So our score after 4.5 is Mount Vernon 5, Riverside 3. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Veterans serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
Firestone Stadium is the place, situated on a hill here in Akron, Ohio, home of the rubber industry in the early 1900s. Bridgestone, Firestone, Goodyear all had their headquarters here. Goodyear Blimp still resides here, or one of the Goodyear Blimps, I guess. And asked why, do you know why this was picked as an area for them to invest?
I do not.
Cloud cover.
Really?
Yes, they had a lot of lucrative contracts with the U.S. government. And the U.S. government had an arsenal sitting out on the other side of Akron because of the cloud cover in northeast Ohio.
Huh.
And so they supplanted themselves here, putting them in proximity of that, but also allowing them access to the rail system and everything else that the Cleveland would offer with the steel industry. Both worlds you win there. But either way, I digress. So up to bat to lead off the inning here for Riverside in the bottom of the 5th is going to be Davis. As she has popped out and struck out here tonight. This ball is going to be shot back up the middle. Second base will get there, but not in time as the speed of Davis was able to play that through. And that'll be an infield single to lead off the bottom half of the fifth.
Yeah, that ball was recovered nicely by second base. Just rolled a little slow to that position.
That's the other thing about this game, that you get more of those infield hits just because it plays faster, quicker. Your hitters are more in the position of the speed, as a lefty can easily fall out of that box down that line as they're hitting. And that's a prime example of it there. Nothing wrong by that defender. They didn't do anything wrong. They got to the ball in an appropriate attempt, manner, speed, whatever you want to call it. Just the game plays fast, and 60 feet you can cover pretty quickly if you're already starting off on a run.
Yeah, if you're not hitting it super strong, if you are going to run faster than your hit, you'll be safe.
So up to bat will be Wilhelm, as she is struck out and tripled, scored a run. As a courtesy runner is in over at first. Scarberry's first pitch is up high, ball one. So the courtesy runner is Kimberly Hetrick. Excuse me. Maggie Corlett. 1-0 is the count here, no outs, runner at first. Wilhelm is in as she swings on that changeup, and that was a beauty. As she was, she was about 2 weeks early. So check back here this time not next week, the following, and it may have contact. 1-1 is our count, and Scarborough rocks, fires. And again, another changeup, but this time up and out of the zone. Makes it 2-1. Scarborough gets the call, steps back on the plate, delivers, and this ball will be fouled off down the right field line, up and out of play. 2-2 now the count. As we got a timeout for a foul ball to be put back. And we're back ready to play. Scarborough comes set, rocks, fires, delivers, and again the changeup though. Wilhelm was able to at least stay on it a little bit better this time and fouls it straight back and out of play. Great traveling crowd here today for an overcast gray sky, but ended up being perfect weather as they got this game in, and that ball is delivered right back to the middle. It goes to Scarborough. Had to delay waiting for shortstop to get there, but did get the out at second base. And that is the first out of the inning, and that'll still leave a runner over at first.
Yeah, she was ready to get that out. She turned and had to stop herself, make sure she didn't throw to an empty bag there.
So Kevern is back in the box now. She's popped out to short, and then she went a little bit, she's walked, and then she drove a ball over the fence in left field in the fourth. And there's a changeup, and she sat back greatly on that and shot it between center field and right field. As it hits the wall, it comes back in quickly, and they're going to throw it home, and she's going to score, and that's going to make it 5-4, and a one-run double, as Kevern is doing all she can to keep the offense involved.
That was just a greatly placed hit. I don't know that either of them could have been there without being wildly out of place.
Yeah, I mean, you shot the alley, just what you needed to do. And it was one of those situations where once it gets down, then you're off to the races. So 5-4 now is the score with a runner at second, one out. As top of the order they go. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. This is not top of the order. Powell is up to bat, number 8 hitter. She's popped out to shortstop and got a single her last time up, right up the middle. Runner sits at second, and that's in the form of Kevern. She's having herself a night, a walk, a home run, and a one-run double. As Scarborough delivers, and that takes a swung on and miss for a strike. Makes the count 1-1. Powell steps back in the box as she comes set. Scarborough gets the call, makes the delivery, and again, fouled off this time to the right, over top. That caught at least one, if not two vehicles there, went to glass, and winner, chicken dinner. So 1-2 now is the count. One out here in the bottom half of the fifth. Key here is, again, Scarborough has done a great job of working herself out of jams, and you've noticed as you look up there on the scoreboard, it's never a crooked number. If it's a number, it's either a 0 or a 1. You're not giving up crooked numbers yet, but you only had one inning where you've been able to get out with no runs scored, so she's got to lock it down here. She delivers a changeup, and it's going to be a flare into right field, and it bounces in between the two defenders. Is going to get away from them as the throw comes in from the right field, but not in time, and Kevin's going to score and tie it up, as that is going to be, my guess, a single and an error, as again, that placement between infield, outfield, and that lack of communication came into haunt him here, as the second baseman should have been called off. Right fielder has a better angle on that play. As outfielders, you're always coming in, and so you should know if you can get to it, you need to call the infield off, because you're coming straight at the ball. You're not trying to backpedal. That's the hardest way to try to catch a ball.
It was really awkward there. Second reached for it, a bit over, and then right field had come up so much for it. By the time it went over, it was 10 feet away maybe. They had to run back and get it with no one back there.
Yep, it got away from them. And that's just one of those things you learn through repetition and time, but unfortunately in a situation like this, it allows them to score that run and make it 5-5. As Scarborough delivers a pitch on the outside corner for a strike to Dulce. Now Dulce has struck out her first time up to bat and got a double her second time up to bat. So she's seen the ball pretty well. It's been the bottom half of this order that's seen it pretty well against Scarborough. As she rocks and fires on this 0-1 pitch. It's going to be high. Ball one. 1-1 with one out here. 5-5 is the score, and it's tied at the bottom of the fifth inning. As Scarborough gets the ball, rocks and fires, and that is going to be a foul tip straight back off the glove for strike two.
And with that runner on second, another double in this inning would be putting the Beavers in the lead here.
Indeed. So 1-2 is the count as Scarborough comes set again on the plate. Rocks back as she fires and delivers, and again fouled off to the right by Dolson. Stays alive as a hitter with a 1-2 count here. Scarborough's worked out of jams all night long. So see if she's able to buckle it down on this one as she delivers the 1-2 pitch, and high and outside as that. Makes it 2-2. Still one out as Vernon looks to minimize the damage here, having given up 2 runs already. Scarborough rocks back. This is a shot right back up the middle. She catches it, and that's out number 2 as the runner was able to get back to second. And I'll get it back to the top of the order for Gracey, who's doubled, singled, and popped out to short.
And Scarborough was turning around to go for the double play there, but you didn't have second or short there in time to actually make the pass.
Right, but it was one of those things that not that they were out of place.
Yeah.
You know, second was charging up behind like she should have, because that's where the ball was going, the play was at, and shortstop was staying home, still trying to get to the bag. It just timing-wise and everything didn't work out the way she wanted it. Otherwise, but she was ready for it, just like you mentioned. She wanted quick 2 outs and get off this field. So the first pitch here is fouled off to the left, makes the count 0-1. As the Yellow Jackets look to end the inning and get back up to bat. So the 0-1 pitch delivered here is going to be high. And that's going to be ball one, make it 1-1 with 2 outs. So they're at the top of the order for Riverside. Scarborough checks the signals, gets the call from the dugout. As she comes set, rocks, fires, and inside the ball 2. I'd like to thank some of our sponsors: Knox County Veteran Services, Gearing Custom Renovations, and Buckeye Stoves. As Scarborough delivers this next pitch, and that is low for ball 3. Along with MTV Arts with 9 to 5 the musical, Coverage Electric and Construction, A+ Auto Brokers, and Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy. So the moving strike zone has come back to haunt Scarborough again here this at bat as she delivers a 3-1 pitch outside. Ball 4. So that puts runners at first and second now with 2 outs, and brings up the number 2 hitter, Tornow, who's singled, grounded out, and walked.
Now batting the center fielder, number 11, Becca Tornow.
So Scarborough sets and checks for the signal from the dugout. Finally gets it as she steps on the plate. Rocks, fires. Outside, ball 1. Delay here as the catcher and the umpire have a quick discussion. Finally comes set as Scarborough rocks, fires, and this ball is going to be fouled back to the left. Strike 1 makes it 1-1 with 2 outs now. Runners at first and second for Riverside. Tornow comes set. Scarborough checks for the signal on a wristband as she steps on the plate to rock, fire, and deliver. And a check swing foul ball to the left side. Makes the count 1-2. Scarborough gets set as she walks back into the circles, checks over to the dugout. Slowing her pace down as she comes running. Now she rocks and fires, and high is that pitch for ball number 2. Young sophomore from Mount Vernon is having herself a heck of a campaign here in 2025. Helping carry her team into the state finals as she rocks and fires, and that pitch is outside, ball 3. Much to the chagrin of the visiting Mount Vernon fan base, and much to the delight of the visiting Riverside. Either way, it's a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Scarborough's got to figure out how to get out of this inning as she rocks and fires, and a foul ball. As that ball was pitched inside, Tornow just kind of was protecting herself more or less on that check swing. But I think really as you watch this game and the calls being made, that inside is more forgiving and there's a strike zone to your pitcher than the outside. I think right now with this situation, you kind of want to work middle half in as they deliver, and that's going to be fouled off again out of play. As this time Tornow just kind of flung her bat out at it, get a piece of it. Good at bat by her, staying alive. Again, runners first and second. We got a tie ball game, 5-5 here in the bottom of the second, or fifth. 2 runs across here in the bottom of the fifth. 2 outs, 3-2 count. Scarborough is just going to take a timeout here as lost the towel out of the back of her pocket. Reset on this 3-2 delivery. She rocks and fires, and it drops low before the home plate for ball 4 and loads the bases.
And that wasn't what Mount Vernon wanted. Really trying to get that strikeout here to close out the inning before they can get ahead. Because currently they are tied up.
You were 100% right, and like we had talked up until this inning, Scarberry had done a great job of minimizing damage. As she has had base runners all night long. This inning they've been able to put 2 across, and they're looking to threaten to do more as the bases are loaded. Number 3 hitter Pound is up to bat as Scarberry delivers and swung on a miss. Chase that rise ball. Now Pound does have her struggles, and she's reaching that part of the lineup that Scarberry has had success against. She had the sac fly her first at bat, but since then struck out and popped out to shortstop.
Really, those are the 2 things you want to see here, a strikeout or a pop out to end this inning for Mount Vernon.
So 0-1 delivery is going to be, that's not what you want to see, a liner into left center as it's going to be bobbled by the center fielder. Bases shall empty, and they shall, and it will be a bases clearing double for Pound to make it 8-5.
That is exactly what the Beavers wanted, though. Get all those runners in, a runner back in scoring position, and now you're going to be up by 2 here in this inning. Up by 3, I'm sorry, in this inning, and you're not even done batting yet.
That was a big clutch hit right there for that young lady. As she cleared the bases, brought home everybody, and made it 8-5.
You've got to feel good, though, standing out on that bag. Half of this stadium right now is standing up and cheering for you.
Without a doubt, the energy is through the roof. As Scarberry comes set. Jarris is in the box, struck out twice, as that pitch is delivered low, ball 1. The other time she's been up, she got a single. So still have a runner over at second with 2 outs here. 8-5 is the score. Riverside has taken the lead with 5 runs here in the bottom half of the 5th. As that pitch is outside, ball number 2. Got to wonder if this might be the last inning for Scarberry. As she pitched a complete game yesterday, has pitched a heck of a game today, but it's just been struggling here this last couple innings of staying consistent. As she delivers ball 3 inside.
Yeah, you don't want a tired pitcher out there putting people on bases unnecessarily, especially when you're down like this.
Indeed. As she gets set to rock and deliver on the 3-0 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 1. And the other thing is, it's just it wears on you mentally. You know the situation, you know what's going on, you're trying to give your best, and you can't. You know you want to, but you just can't. It's not there anymore. And you got to watch out for that aspect too, as that ball is delivered from ball 4 down low.
It's even more so in that position because there's always a lot of pressure on the pitcher because that's who's running your defense for this team.
Without a doubt. It's a very volatile spot to be in terms of the amount of mental stress you go through out there on that pitching plate. Just natural in general. And she's picked you can't take anything away from how she's pitched and how she's played, both yesterday and today. Just happens to be at this situation. Gas has ran out.
Everyone's got a limit.
Yep, exactly. And the team for Riverside was having success, and she was struggling to find that zone.
Riverside will be in a pretty good spot here with a runner on first and second. Up to bat here, they will have a chance to put 1, potentially 2 more scores on that board if they get a good hit here.
So we'll see here if they're actually going to make that call. They still got her warming up in the outfield. Pitcher. As they're still having conversations about it.
Yeah, but as Mount Vernon, I feel like you have to close this inning before they even get 1 more on the board. Because if you're down by 4 going into the top of the 6th, it's going to feel crushing when you're up at bat.
So I guess they're just going to take the time out there as Mount Vernon. That way they can give their pitchers time to start warming up. And Scarberry's going to stay out there with the bases, the runners on first and second, 2 out here. as she is facing Davis again, who led off this inning with a single.
The pitcher, number 14, Annalise Davis.
So the first pitch is a ball high. As the delivery there, grounder to second and out at first. That's the inning as they were able to finally get out of it, but not before they gave up 5 runs. And our score here after 5 complete is Mount Vernon 5, Riverside 8. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
You never thought your child would get their own home so soon, but it needs new wiring pulled and the kitchen could use a makeover. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric and Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004.
Cubbage Electric and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Cubbage Electric and Construction, 740-627-8004.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
Welcome back into Firestone Stadium. And what can only be described as a tale of two cities. First half of this game has been pretty much a dominating factor by Mount Vernon as they went into the top half of the 5th up 5-3. But unfortunately, that's when the wheels fell off the old train. And Riverside was able to hang 5 on them to take the lead 8-5. So here we stand with 2 innings left. Riverside up 8-5, and the top of the order is up to bat for the Yellow Jackets as Myers steps in.
And Mount Vernon's really going to want a good offensive inning here. Even if they only get 2 on the board, that will at least get them much closer to coming out of this in the 7th.
Myers has reached on an error, struck out, and grounded out to second. As Davis comes set. Rock fires, and that ball got away from her high and outside. That's ball 1. So again, Davis steps back into the box. As the pitch is delivered low and away, ball 2. And this is who they need to step in here. The top half of the order has really kind of struggled today. As your top 3 hitters have only reached base twice. Excuse me, 3 times. Once on an error. As that pitch is delivered for a strike on the outside edge of the plate, 2-1. See here as she comes set now on a 2-1 count. Davis is going to rock back and fire. That's going to be a strike. Much to the chagrin of a lot of folks here in the stadium. Makes count 2-2. As Davis comes set. It's going to be slapped right at the third baseman. She's going to pick it and throw out. And that'll be out number 1 to start the 6th.
Yeah, very, very cleanly fielded by third base, though.
So that brings up Kennedy, who's reached on an error, had a sac fly, or a sac bunt, excuse me, and also reached on a wall.
That's something if the Riverside are getting better at fielding here, that's bad for Mount Vernon. A lot of their scoring has came from errors this game.
100%. 100%. A lot of their scoring has come from the lower half of the lineup, which will be due up here in the 7th inning if the first three batters can't find a way on. 1-0 count here to Kennedy as Davis sets back, rocks, fires. That ball's outside and low, ball two. Kennedy trying to cheer on her teammates from the side, telling them to get a little louder, please. We've still got a chance to get back in this. Davis rocks on the 2-0 delivery. Outside again, ball three. The catcher is going to take a timeout, walk out and have a conversation with her pitcher. Get her back in her groove as she falls behind 3-0 here to the number 2 hitter, Kennedy, in the top half of the sixth, 1 out. So Davis comes set now, rocks back to deliver and fires, and that ball is in for strike one. Three-one count now as Kennedy steps back into the box. Davis checks her wristband as she gets the signal from the dugout, and she delivers, and that is a check swing, strike two. May not have been a check swing strike, but it was a strike either way. Next count full now at 3-2 with 1 out here for Kennedy as Davis rocks and fires, and this shot to left field over the shortstop's head will be a single base hit. That'll get a runner on with 1 out here in the top of the sixth.
Yeah, greatly fielded though by left field for Riverside. That is Nika Dulce here. Caught it great, threw it right in field, and stopped the runner from advancing to second. And again, if you're Mount Vernon, you do not want to see them making these good, consistent plays on your hits.
100%. There'll be a timeout here as Davis is being attended to. So as we sit, we got 1 out. Kennedy is on first after that single. Coming up to bat will be Rudrick, who struck out, singled, and then popped out. The second base on her last at-bat. Kind of need an inning like you did back in the third to get a crooked number back up there on the board if you're a Yellow Jacket. So Davis comes set here. She delivers, and that is going to be outside, ball one. Kennedy's at first. It's a threat to steal, though I don't know if you're going to risk it down 3 right now at this stage of the game. Rudrick comes set as Davis is going to rock and fire. And that's going to be fouled straight back. And I'll make it 1-1 as the count. Official just takes a little bit of a stroll there. That was a foul tip straight off the mask. That was fun. Now the ball is back in play. So Davis will step in the circle as she looks over to the dugout for the signal. Checks her wristband as she comes in. Fire and foul ball just down the left field line. Boy, that was a screamer.
Went for the other official that time, the one on third base.
Indeed. I tell you, about half second later on that swing, that might have been right down the line for a big shot there. So either way, we'll see if she's able to make do here on her second opportunity, or if Davis will win this battle as it's a 1-2 count. Davis rocks, fires, and this ball is fouled straight back and out of play. And we'll do it again at 1-2 as Rudrick stays alive. 8-5 our score here, top of the sixth inning. As Division II state championship between Mount Vernon and Riverside. Davis delivers the 1-2 pitch, and Roderick just slaps at it to keep it alive, and luckily for her, that kind of found no man's land in foul territory, and drops for another foul ball and another opportunity. So 1-2 is the count, 1 out. Kennedy is over at first as Butter turns with the bat, show bunt, now comes back. Davis delivers, this time she turns and drives it deep center field. Hits off the fence, they thought it was gone. Good job there by the center fielder of deceiving the runner. But either way,
She tried to steal second there, and on the steal got tagged out at third.
That was a great job, though, by center field, deceiving the runner, acting like it was going over. So Kennedy kind of slowed up. Managed to score, but as you said, when she managed to score, the throw came home. Roderick tried to get greedy, take third, and she got thrown out at third for the second out, but the run does count, making it 8-6.
I can see why you would want to take third there, but it's a real shame to get that second out on the board when you really need 1 to 2 more scores this inning.
100%. And that's just knowing the situation that you're in. As the pitch delivered to Brooklyn, Devenbarger is going to be fouled off to the left for strike 1. 8-6 is our score here as Vernon was able to claw a run out and looks to get more with 2 outs here. So Davis takes her time as she comes set, checks the wristband for the signal. And she rocks and delivers and swung on and missed. Quickly 0-2. As Devenbarger steps back into the box. Down 0-2 as comes set and swings this one, just pokes it off to the right and fouls it off to stay alive 0-2. Set a single, popped out to right field and grounded out to shortstop. 1 for 3 tonight. Number 4 hitter for the Yellow Jackets. Steps back in as Davis rocks and fires. Again, slaps at it, fouls it off, stays alive. .02 is the count with 2 outs. Nobody on for the Yellow Jackets. So we sit in the top half of the 6th inning. 8-6 is our score. Riverside on top as they put 5 up on the Yellow Jackets in the bottom of the last inning.
The real shame of it is with how some of these hits have been, I don't know that it would have mattered if you're on second or third. Either way, you could have been in.
100%. As Brooklyn swings again, fouls that straight back. Keeping herself alive, still an 0-2 count. She's fouled off about 3 or 4 consecutive pitches here. As Davis comes set again. Again, slaps at it again, gets it through for a single. And a great job of just staying consistent and waiting for your pitch. And she stayed back, did a great job keeping her hands back, and shot it through the gap there on the right side of the field between center field and right field. So we got a runner on now with 2 outs. And upcoming the bat is going to be Scarberry, looking to help her cause out. Reached on an error last time, had a double before that, scored a run, and has also popped out to center field. As Davis comes set to deliver, and Scarberry swing and a miss. .01 the count as she steps back into the box. Top half of the 6th inning, takes time out. Davis steps back too. Devin Barger is over at first as this pitch is delivered. Snap throw down, safe. And I believe that pitch was called a strike as well. So 0-2 is the count now for Scarborough. Davis rocks, fires. And that pitch is outside. Ball one. Scarborough quickly back in the box, so she is ready to rock and roll for Davis. Davis rocks on the 1-2. Scarborough slaps at it and fouls it off to the right side. Out of play over the fence to stay alive, and again, great job up there. Last two hitters just fouling off the outside pitch, keeping themselves alive, giving themselves another opportunity. Scarborough takes advantage here on the 1-2 delivery. Ball two outside. So 2-2 is the count now with 2 outs. Down by 2. 2 innings left. I mean, some would say 2's away. Davis comes set, rocks, fires, and the delivery. And outside, ball 3. 3-2 count now for Scarborough. 2 outs, so Devin Barger will be on the move here on this pitch. If Scarborough could get something into this and drive it to the fence, they might be able to get a couple extra out of it. So Davis comes set now on the 3-2 delivery. Fires and fouled off again down the right side. Good job by Scarborough staying alive again. 8-6 is our score here as we sit top half of the 6th inning. Runner on first as the Blue Jackets, or the Yellow Jackets, are up to bat. Davis delivers, and ball 4 inside. And a good job there by Jocelyn Scarborough to draw that walk, as they will now send out the bench for the designated runner for her. And have 2 runners on here with 2 outs.
Runner at first base for Vernon, number 14.
So that's going to bring up Bates, who's had a double, a single, and struck out.
The shortstop, number 10, Chris Bates.
I'm sure the Yellow Jacket Nation will be more than happy for either one of those singles or doubles again. Might even give you a ice cream cone if you get a home run. So the 0-0 delivery by Davis is going to hit that outside corner for strike one. As Bates takes a little stroll, gets back into the box. Davis comes set, rocks, fires, and delivers. And it's going to be high inside, ball 1. 2 runners on for the Yellow Jackets as they have 2 outs here. Top of the 6th inning. 8-6 is our score. Riverside on top. But the Yellow Jackets threatening with 2 outs. Here's the delivery by Davis again on the outside. The ball 2. Right now, Bates needs to be patient, not try to force it as she's ahead in the count here, 2-1. She's had a good night, seen the ball well out of Davis's hand. As Davis delivers, and that pitch is inside, ball 3. So both pitchers who have pitched great so far have now found the control struggles in their both respective innings. Last inning for Scarborough, now Davis seems to be struggling to find the zone as well. 3-1 delivery here 2 Bates is on the outside edge, strike 2. So full count will be the pitch. 2 outs, runners will be on the move as Davis comes set. Gets the signal, rocks and fires, and there's a foul ball down the right side and out of play.
Exact same spot our last 2 hitters have been fouling off to.
Finding that timing, finding that rhythm. You foul them off enough, and then eventually you find it, and you get that ball into play where it needs to be, which is what happened for Brooklyn. And Scarberry drew the walk out of it. So the full count delivery again by Davis. Is again fouled off. Coming in hot. And the stands are getting even more full as the game following us is starting to trickle in. And they're going to catch the end of a heck of a game here as it is 8-6 in the top of the 6th inning. 2 runners on. 3-2 delivery here by Davis. And this one goes out to right and caught in foul territory to end the threat. So after the the top half of the 6th, our score here is Riverside 8, Mount Vernon 6. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
Griffin Insurance, taking care of your family since 1972. In today's day and age, it's very uncommon to get a real person when you call. Not at Griffin Insurance. We represent multiple carriers to find the best rate for you and your family. Whether it's auto, residential, commercial, or farm, we're here to help. Call Griffin Insurance at 740-397-7488. Griffin Insurance, finding you the best rate.
This is Lorraine from Buckeye Stoves, and it's time to sweep your chimney. Buckeye Stoves, we invite you to take advantage of our spring sweep specials. Save $25. Have peace of mind maintaining your stove, fireplace, or insert. Here's even a better deal. If you bundle, combine a sweep with a dryer vent or gutter cleaning. Receive 10% off the bundle. Give Buckeye Stoves a call, 694-7902. Catch us on the web at buckeyestoves.com. Buckeye Stoves, the cozy way to save.
Back in the saddle again we are as Scarberry comes back out for the bottom half of the 6th. Trailing 8-6 are the Yellow Jackets from Mount Vernon as Riverside brings up bottom portion of their order. Wilhelm will start it off. She's tripled, struck out, and reached on a fielder's choice, which would eventually come around to score last inning in that big 5-run rally they had.
It's exciting to see how the Beavers will follow up after such a big inning last time.
Indeed, as Scarberry comes set, delivers, and ball 1. Nobody warming up for Mount Vernon anymore as they were last inning. So it looks like it's Scarberry's here on out as she rocks and fires, and this pitch is popped to right as right fielder comes in, makes the catch for out number 1.
I believe that was the right fielder, Layla Joyner, coming all the way up for a great catch there.
Indeed. And she came in as a substitution.
Designated player number 16, Maddie Cavern.
Now up to bat is Cavern. She has been a thorn in the side for Mount Vernon all night. A walk, a home run, a double. This time she offers up the rise ball and swings and misses. And if Scarberry can get her out, it might be a little bit of a momentum shift for him as well, because she has been such a wrecking force in her at-bats. There's the pitch. Outside for ball 1.
And that's how Mount Vernon came back to win last game. Holding him on the 6th, scoring good in the 7th, holding him again bottom of the 7th, and that was it.
Indeed. See if that recipe for success is still here tonight as Scarberry delivers the 1-1. Popped up, straight back and off the fence, makes it 1-2. Again, Not undoable, but like you said, they just have to make sure they don't allow anybody to score this inning. So 1-2 here on the Vernon as Scarberry comes set to deliver, and check swing dribbler to second, picked up for out number 2.
That's how Mount Vernon wants this inning to start. One more quick out, they'll have another chance to turn this game around.
So Powell will come up to bat now as she is popped out to short, has a single, and then reached on an error last inning.
Third baseman, number 26, Olivia Powell.
With 2 outs here as Scarberry comes set in the circle. A bit of wind picking up here, going off the right center as Scarberry delivers the first pitch high, ball 1. Scarberry steps back, collects her thoughts now as she re-enters the circle. Gets the signal to deliver and gets outside ball 2. Two O's the count with 2 outs now on number 8 hitter Powell. 1 for 2 tonight. Pitch is inside, ball 3. 3-0 is the count now with 2 outs here. Scarberry is falling behind 3-0. Comes set in the circle, rocks back and fires. And there's strike 1. 8-6 is the score here as we're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Scarberry steps back in and delivers the 3-1 pitch. High, ball 4. Number 9 hitter Dulce will step up to plate.
Oh, it's actually 15.
Number 15,
Dulce.
Mika Dulce.
Yes.
You said 9.
I said who?
9.
Number 9 hitter, the 9th person in the batting order. You had me for a loop for a minute. As she swings, pops it up, this is going to be playable, and it is at first by Pollard for the out. More on that when we come back as you're listening to High School Softball on WMVO.
Well, hey, y'all. Wake up, pour yourself a cup of ambition, and come on down to the Woodward Opera House to see 9 to 5, the musical. Presented by MTV Arts, this Laugh Out Loud show features music and lyrics by the one and only Dolly Parton. Join Violet, Judy, and Dora Lee as they take on the boss and turn the office upside down in this feel-good, high-energy performance. Don't miss 9 to 5, the musical, this July 5th through 13th. Get your tickets at mtvarts.com.
Working 9 to 5.
Extreme Air LLC is your Carrier HVAC dealer. With financing available and testimonials on the website, you can see why Extreme Air is exactly that, extreme. Servicing, installing, and repairing all makes and models to give you the heat and cool you deserve. Servicing good old Knox County and surrounding communities. Check them out online at extremeairllc.com. That's the letter X, extremeairllc.com. 740-403-1901, where service is not a business, it's a lifestyle.
Well, they've got Europe queued up, which means it's the final countdown. As we are ready to start the top half of the 7th inning here of the 2025 Division II State Championship between Riverside and Mount Vernon. It is 8-6, Riverside on top as Pollard leads off here in the inning for these Jackets. The crowd is on their feet, ready to give them everything they can as Davis comes set here to deliver. And that is outside, ball 1. Now they've been in this spot before. They've managed to pull out a win in these situations. This is not unfamiliar territory. The question is, how many times can you go to the well before it comes dry? So 1-0 is the count here on Pollard. Davis comes set, delivers, and Pollard fouls it off to the right for strike number 1. Pollard tonight has walked and struck out, as well as popping out to left field. She is officially 1 for 2 or 0 for 2 on the evening. As she steps back in the box for the 1-1 pitch. Davis rocks, fires, and that's a strike. And Pollard knew it. Little off-speed pitch by Davis there, kind of froze Pollard, and she could just not pull that trigger. So 1-2 now is the count. As Davis checks the signal, comes set. She's going to rock and fire, and a swing and a miss. Strike 3, out, number 1.
Not a great start to your comeback inning here, but Mount Vernon's not out of it yet.
Nope. You never know. That's why you got to play the game. We've seen it happen before. And, I mean, vast majority of the runs that Riverside scored in that 5-run inning were with 2 outs. Most of the runs, I believe all 3 of the runs in the 3rd inning by Mount Vernon were with 2 outs. So that's never the issue. It's the opportunities. As we got a new opportunity here now for a pinch hitter. As 55, Brooklyn Cook, sophomore, is going to hit for Pope. It was 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. So nobody on, no outs. As
1 out.
Cook thank you, 1 out as Cook steps into the box. Davis delivers. Outside corner, strike 1. Cook takes her time, steps back in. 0-1 delivery here by Davis is outside, ball 1. 1-1 count as the young sophomore steps back into the box. Davis comes set, delivers, and she swings, fouls it off. Up and out of play. Just missed the car behind us. I believe that's the sun that's showing up here, Gary. Finally peeking out from behind the clouds here in Northeast Ohio.
The next game is going to play completely differently than the beginning of our game.
Indeed it will. 1-2 count as Davis delivers outside, ball 2. Either way, you got to find a way to get on base here. Walk, hit by pitch, whatever it may be. As Davis delivers a 2-2, swung on and missed for strike 3. Foul tip, still caught for the out. So 2 outs now as they're down to their final out, and Jones will be the hitter. Popped out to shortstop last time up. She had some heroics in her yesterday. She delivered on a big double. We'll see what she's able to do here as fans for both sides are up on their feet, waiting to see the outcome. With 2 outs here as Davis rocks, fires, and that's strike 1. 8-6 is our score. Mount Vernon trailing Riverside, top of the 7th, 2 outs, down to their final at bat. 0-1 count as Davis has kind of locked herself right back in. Comes set, rocks and fires, and Jones is going to send this foul out of play to the right. 0-2. Down to your final strike. Final out.
You can feel the tension in here.
Final game for a lot of these seniors. Well, all these seniors. What am I talking about? This is it. As Davis comes set. Jones in the box, deep stance. Davis fires, and that's outside, ball 1. 1-2 count now on Jones as she steps back into the box. Davis looks over, gets the signal, comes set. Wind picking up now, going straight out to center field. As Jones gets it off the end of the bat. Those are the troublesome ones, and it is! And that'll put a base runner on with 2 outs, and that's sometimes all you need.
That hit not only kept Mount Vernon in the game, but could very well turn it around for them.
Those little things, little moments like that. You only need 2 to tie. Now you flipped it to the top of the order. So in theory, you're in the order that should be able to do damage. They've struggled to do today, that's for sure. As Myers will be the batter here. She's reached on an error. She's struck out. She's grounded out. And well, actually 2 ground outs. That's about it. Bench runner come in for Jones. 2 outs here still as Myers will come up to bat. Davis is going to step back. She wants to make sure she's seeing the signal correctly because she's got her hands up now trying to figure out what the call is. Now she's set. It's interesting too, the pitcher is in the sun. The batter is in the shade, so there is a light difference as that ball's coming at you as the batter. Now the good thing is that shade picks up literally right on the front edge of that pitching circle. So it's not too much of a difference, but still enough to throw you off as that first pitch goes foul for strike number 1. Myers slapping it to the left side of the field. He just comes set again to deliver on it. It's going to be slapped to third, and that is going to be the ball game. Folks, Riverside is your 2025 Division II state champions as they win 8-6 over Mount Vernon. We'll step out quick for a message. We'll be back to recap. You're listening to high school softball on WMVO.
You never thought your child would get their own home so soon, but it needs new wiring pulled and the kitchen could use a makeover. It's time to get in touch with Cubbage Electric and Construction. Give Brian and his team a call at 740-627-8004.
Cubbage Electric and Construction is a proud sponsor for all the local high school teams.
Cubbage Electric and Construction, 740-627-8004.
Veterans serving veterans.
That's what we do here at Knox County Veteran Services. Hi, I'm Kevin Henthorne, your Executive Director.
And I'm Financial Coordinator Melissa Schenk.
And we're here to meet the needs of Knox County veterans and their families.
We can help with emergency financial assistance,
filing of disability and pension claims, VA healthcare enrollment, and even transportation to VA healthcare facilities.
Please give us a call at 740-393-6742 or stop in and see us at our new location at 105 East Chestnut Street in Mount Vernon.
This is Jacob at A+ Auto Brokers. You owe it to yourself to upgrade your ride. Search our inventory from anywhere by going to goaplusauto.com. With sales and service, you won't need to go anywhere else. A+ Auto Brokers is home of the repeat customer for a reason. Come see us today. Call 740-393-0366 or stop by at 504 West High Street. We will also buy your car for cash. Again, this is Jacob from A+ Auto Brokers, where we keep Knox County rolling.
Great news, Central Ohio. Foster's Pharmacy offers daily dose packaging, which are convenient and simple. It's truly personalized care you're looking for. It just starts with a call to get started. Take the hassle out of your medications. Call 740-392-0911. Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Welcome back one final time as we wrap it up here from Firestone Stadium in Akron as Mount Vernon falls in the 2025 state championship 8-6 to Riverside, and it was an absolute amazing performance by all of these kids on this team. It was a great season for them all year long. Everything to have their heads hanging up, and they've got a bright future with a lot of young, talented kids that are on their team in this program. And it's one of those things that Mount Vernon has nothing but optimism moving into the future. It's been an absolute delight and pleasure to call it for all of you as we have brought you this action here yesterday and today in the state semifinals and finals. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for bringing it to you. Extreme Air LLC, Griffin Insurance, Knox County Veteran Services, Gearing Custom Renovations, Buckeye Stoves, MDD Arts with 9 to 5 the musical, Cubbage Electric Construction, A+ Auto Brokers, and Foster's Health Mart Pharmacy. For Gary